I didn't.
I know, but you needed to pound. You let them put Rudy Fernandez over Sarunas Marciulionis. Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh,
no
my
way.
God.
Shout out Rudy.
Bro. No,
Mars
shout
Black,
out
what up,
Rudy.
Hi.
Hey, Pirate messaged me last night. He said he had some things to get off his chest, and I told him I would let him early on in the show. So, Pirate, the floor is yours. And
Yeah, I'm angry, man. I'm legitimately angry over that list yesterday. I mean, 2 point. The Sarunas Marciulionis by itself was egregious enough, but the fact that greatest European small forward comes up and nobody says Detlef Schrempf, obviously the best European small forward that's ever played. First, before we even say anything, I want to see a show of hands. Who here legitimately thinks Peja is a better small forward than Detlef Schrempf? Raise your hand. You think Peja is a better small forward than Detlef and Ron? You let them off. You didn't say anything. You didn't stand up.
I didn't.
If I can speak for myself,
Detlef Schrempf might be one of the best. Or when you're talking about rotation guys, when you're talking about Manu Ginobili, when you're talking about Jamal Crawford, Detlef Schrempf is in that conversation. He's one of the best rotation guys in NBA history.
Chill. Even beyond that, Detlef Schrempf was a legit all-pro. People love comparing white players to Larry Bird.
Coming off the bench, by the way.
I mean, starting a ton. So people forget about Indiana. Detlef Schrempf. People love comparing white players to Larry Bird. It's always, this is Larry Bird. This guy's Larry Bird. Detlef Schrempf was legitimately probably the closest thing to Larry Bird light that we've seen. He had a complete floor game. Detlef Schrempf gave you everything on the floor. He could give you 10 rebounds. Detlef Schrempf led teams in rebound. He'll give you 10 rebounds when Dale Davis and Rick Smits are on the floor. Detlef Schrempf will lead the team in assists. Detlef Schrempf will give you 5, 6, 7 assists a game.
He was complete. 100% he was. He was a complete basketball player. He became a rotation player when he went to Seattle. He was starting.
What could Peja do? Peja could shoot the ball. That's all he could do.
Yeah.
He could shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. Detlef Schrempf was a legit 3-level scorer. He'll shoot a 3. He'll shoot a midi. Detlef Schrempf had an amazing post game. Detlef Schrempf was a savage going to the rim. I mean, it's just unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And I swear, like, I would bet that most of the people who have Peja over Detlef probably didn't see either of them play, and they're just like, oh, Peja can shoot. And it's this whole, it's like, I love Clay and Steph, but goddamn, have they ruined the game? Because now everyone talks basketball. It's like, oh, he can shoot. We need a guy who can shoot. We need a guy who can space the floor.
And if you can't shoot like Steph Curry, you can't shoot like Clay, you can't play.
Yeah, give us Mike Muscala. We need Mike Muscala to stretch the floor. And you take these guys over guys who legitimately have complete floor games.
Well, to defend my pick, I definitely seen Peja play. I didn't know ball with Detlef, and I will admit I didn't know ball with Detlef. I have no problem admitting. I'm not gonna act like a person that just knows everything. I ain't no ball. So the people you should be mad at are the guys that didn't know Detlef's game and still said either Peja or someone else.
Take it.
I would be furious.
Who said Peja?
I didn't. I said Kukoc. That's who I said.
Kukoc, and all these guys are good. All these guys are good, but
I had Kukoc over Detlef Schrempf, and simply off the strength of Kukoc being a more versatile offensive player, as good as Detlef Schrempf was. Right? As good as Detlef Schrempf was as an offensive player,
look at that list.
Tony Kukoc was better.
I took Sasha Vujicic. So.
Well, the list got Ticket started. Not Ticket. I'm sorry. Mars started the trolling, and then it just went downhill from that. Then we started getting guys like Radmanovich and dudes like that.
Rudy Fernandez?
Yeah.
You guys were trolling when you didn't pick Giannis.
Rudy nice, though.
Now,
Rudy was not.
He wasn't better than
Rudy.
There's a reason why Rudy didn't.
He's an Olympian. Like Rudy.
Bro, I even had
Rudy's put in work.
I even had to go back and check. Like, all right, man. Well, fuck. I know he wasn't shooting the NBA. Like, what did he do overseas? And it's like he wasn't even that great overseas.
Yeah, he was. He was great.
I mean, he's
that Spanish team he was on was fantastic. But in contrast, he was not better than Detlef Schrempf. He was not. Detlef Schrempf, 6'10",
Marcelonis.
shoot it. All right, you saw me. I stood up for Marcelonis as much as I possibly. He's in the Hall of Fame.
I hear you.
Marcelonis is in the Hall of Fame. He was.
I took Juan Carlos Navarro.
I took Rudy, and I didn't take Rudy because other people took Rudy. I was the first vote, and before I said Rudy, I clearly stated, "Damn, I really don't know shooting guard. I don't know Euro shooting guards. I'm gonna go with the one I know, Rudy." At that point, everyone else made a decision. Again,
everyone who came after is egregious.
I
People agreeing with that shit.
After that, that's tough. I would be furious if I was you, Pirate.
Just so you know, Dom, Marcelonis was Manu Ginobili before Manu Ginobili.
Chill. I was going to say that exact a bigger, stronger Manu.
No. Win.
Played in the late 80s, early 90s.
90s with a TMC, Run TMC.
He was from Lithuania. He was Manu Ginobili before Manu Ginobili. 6'5", 6'6".
Respect Pedro Stojakovic, probably. Respect Pedro Stojakovic.
Who's saying that? Ox? Come on camera, Ox. Come on camera, Ox. No, man, we're not letting this slide. I know you're in Sacramento, but no. I mean, I get you loving Peja. I like Peja too. I mean, I'm not saying Peja's trash, but bro, what can Peja do?
Shoot the basketball.
Peja can shoot, right? Detlef led teams in rebounding and assists. Detlef Schrempf played on a team.
All around Hooper, I would be forced to agree with you that all around game, Detlef Schrempf is better than Pedro Stojakovic. But there are parts of Peja's game that, if utilized correctly, he can be just as effective as Detlef Schrempf.
One single part. He can stand there and he can shoot. That's the only thing that Detlef Schrempf played on a team with prime Reggie Miller and was the best player on the team. He played with prime Reggie and was better than Reggie on the same team. I mean, the disrespect.
That sounds like an indictment on Reggie.
It's not an indictment on Reggie at all. It's just explaining how good.
That's a little disingenuous.
That is absolutely not. Dude, Detlef Schrempf could lead a team in assists. Can Peja dribble the ball? Can Peja pass the ball without it going into the third row?
Yeah, what? Peja was an exceptional passer. Maybe not on the same level of Detlef Schrempf, but he was.
Peja was an exceptional passer.
Yes, I mean his job wasn't to facilitate. His job was to shoot the ball. But Peja could move the rock. I mean, no, he wasn't no flashy passer. I mean, he had some good flashy passes, but I'm not gonna ride highlights. I'm just saying, like, Peja could move, not a great facilitator, but he'll move the rock. He could pass the ball. I mean, he was an all around pro. He was a good player. He could attack the basket off the pump fake. His defense, he wasn't a cone. He wasn't a cone on defense by any stretch of the imagination.
He wasn't a cone? Wait, I got to be clear. We're talking about Peja Stojakovic, or
yes, we are.
Or a different Peja.
Let's talk about Peja Stojakovic from 2001 to 2007.
For that 6-year stretch.
Yeah.
Let's talk about from 2001 to 2007. Peja Stojakovic was what? I mean, you act like he wasn't athletic, like he was just. I don't like this indictment. I'm starting to think about what you've been saying about Peja, Pirate, and I don't think I can accept this.
I love Peja. I honestly hate diminishing.
And rebound, he was physical. Y'all can't just turn Peja into some just spot up, stand around shooting. God,
he was physical in that he was like a big old lump, and then you guys were like saying Peja's playing shooting guard. Peja ain't playing no shooting guard, man. Peja was big and slow for a small forward. Like you tried putting Peja at the two. I mean, I'm sure he played a couple minutes here and there with some bench units, maybe a couple minutes along the line. But bro, Peja ain't playing no shooting guard. Well, Peja was a big, slow, small forward.
I wasn't in on this, Pirate. I didn't vote for anybody. So.
Now nobody was in on it. Ticket, where are you at? Did you have Peja over Detlef
yesterday?
No.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you weren't even on the show. But I'm sure you would have been hyping Peja.
1,000%.
No, Ticket ain't had nothing to do with that. Yeah, Kukoc.
So who did? So no one.
Who did then? How did he get on the?
Because I know all my votes. I know
Apparently
Paige
nobody-
didn't receive a vote.
nobody
Ox
had
had
their hand in
Pager.
that.
Ox had Pager.
Don't make me have to run the tape back.
Domo rolled with Pager
Yeah,
because
I
Chill, I wasn't on the show
Domo
yesterday.
rolled with Pager because he didn't really know.
Nah, Bob, you
I
involved
went.
in this.
Who did I go with the small phone?
I messaged you because I wanted to
Who I
come
was.
on,
Tony
Ron.
Kukoc never
I
made
didn't
it
do
to
this.
start, so then you put him on the bench because the starting small forward.
Right, I went with Tony Kukoc on the second unit. I had him starting.
But Mars went with Giannis.
Yeah, I
So
went
the
with
people that
Giannis.
voted,
Who'd
no,
you
no,
go
no,
with?
no.
Mars went with
The
Giannis.
people that voted yesterday aren't here. That's the problem. The other two people, they're not here.
Jalen and Mustard.
Yeah, Jalen
Right.
and Mustard were the ones that went Pager.
Jalen was the big
Mustard
pusher.
was
Yeah,
pure-
Paige.
Mustard was pure trolling.
I think
Mustard
Mustard.
was serious.
Mustard seems like a nice guy. I think he just read the name.
I mean, the logic of
out of-
Pager
out
averaging
of
a bunch
chat.
of points. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Pager did make the
Detlef
All-Pro
scored
team one time.
too.
Yeah, he did. No question about that. But I mean, Pager did make the All-Star team a couple times. I'm not gonna fight that. But when you're talking about Detlef Schrempf as a Euro, not just as a Euro, coming into the NBA and his game translating, he was effective everywhere he played. He started his career in Dallas, right? He started his career early on in Dallas. He was playing with Sam Perkins. He was playing with Mark Dwyane and them dudes as a rotation guy. And the Euro at that time wasn't really sought after. So, I mean, it still was an American game. But then you move over to Indiana where he started. He started. He was still a rotation guy in Indiana. He didn't really start.
To
He
start
didn't really
with.
start. Yeah,
To
he
start
didn't really
with.
start until later on with Indiana, and then when he got to Seattle, that's when he got into the starting lineup. And you know,
His
he
last
stretched
2 years in Indiana, though.
yeah, he
fucking
stretched the
unreal.
defense. He stretched the defense with the best of them. He made the All-Star team. He stretched the defense with the best of them.
He made
All-Pro team.
All-Pro.
Yeah, made the All-Pro team. Stretched the defense with the best of them. Playmate with the best of them. One of the best stop and pop shooters at 6'10", could finish around the rim. If I'm thinking about guy, I just don't think he was better than Kukoc, but I think he was better than Pager, 100%.
Yo, fellas, I'm gonna put this list up here, and I want to hear from each and every one of you what changes you would make to this list. Like, you don't got to give me your whole team, but you could say, "Hey, I'll take Luka out, and I'll start Tony Parker," for instance.
Take Pager out. Pager is not one of the 5 best Europeans all time. No, he is not. He was
Get
not.
that shit out of here.
If you put Giannis at the 3 and then had Dirk and Jokic as the front court,
He was not better than Detlef Schrempf. He was not better than Tony Kukoc. I'll just start there. I'm not putting Giannis at the 3. I'm cool with Giannis being at the 4.
Yeah, so just put Dirk on the bench, even though he's the greatest.
I hear Mars because it feels wrong not to have Dirk on there, but also it does
I would actually
seem
put Dirk
like naturally Giannis and Dirk are both, I would say, natural power forwards. So,
Yeah, so
would
someone
put
has
Dirk-
to play an unnatural position because they're 2 of the 3 best European players ever. So
yeah, and
Sorry,
I understand
I'm
that
getting
perspective. Yeah, and that kind
So
of
we got 2. So we
kinda
got
makes
Joker.
sense,
So we got Joker and Embiid. This is not on the all European team, Mars. We got Joker and Embiid, and because both of those guys are awesome, not one of those guys get to go to the bench. We're gonna move Joker to the 4 and put Embiid at the 5. That's the logic.
yes,
we can't be playing
Wait,
Joker
not
at the
Embiid.
4 though.
Embiid's not
no,
even.
you put Embiid.
You mean, I
that
think
was
he
just
means
an example,
Sabonis.
Domo.
I think he
That was-
means
that
Arvydas,
was-
that
right?
was
I
just
think he
an
means
he's just
Arvydas.
saying like just theoretically, like you have
That
2
was
great
just-
centers,
okay.
but you need to put them both on the floor. Yes, it's David Robinson and Tim Duncan. You just put them both on the court at the same time. Is what
I
it is.
think it's egregious that we aren't even going to address the fact that Frederick Weiss is here because of pure trolling. And we
It got
could put anybody-
that's the thing.
we could put
It got
anybody up
ugly. It got because Mars started with the Sasha Vujacic. He started that, right? And then that's when it went downhill with
No.
Rudy Fernandez.
That's not what happened. It was what you call it. It
Mustard.
honestly, I mean, I blame Mustard, but I guess Ticket would blame me because I put AK-47 over Kukoc.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
was just appalled. And then at that point, people just
Yeah,
started
he was
trolling.
wild
and
with
went
that
down.
one.
Was
Yeah,
I?
he was wild. Yeah,
Was
he was
I
wild
really?
with that one. Yes, he was wild with that
I
one.
guess we don't play
Some
defense.
people would say Russia's Asia, not Europe.
Yeah, but where the people live is in Europe. Like people not living in Siberia. You know?
Some people would say.
Russia is in Europe. Let's cut
I
the
know.
nonsense.
I know, but some people would say Russia is.
Yo, so check it out.
But
Yeah.
Spain isn't though,
I'm-
Mars. Just so
Yeah,
you know.
Spain's not Europe. Spain's not Europe.
The Spain's
I'm sorry,
not
bro. Go
in
ahead.
Europe is crazy.
Hey,
Chill.
Ron.
What's up, Ticket?
Now, I just want to say something real quick to the brother who puts like 1 million comments in the comment section about me every single day. Your brother, your name is Explode. I just want to tell you, God bless you, my brother, and I'm praying for you, brother, and I hope the best for you and your family and everybody else surrounding you. You know what I'm saying? I pray for positivity over you and your family and just blessings, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see that you have a serious hatred for me in your heart. You know, and you know, this is just basketball, you know what I'm saying? But you know, God bless you, brother. I want to put that positive energy in your way. I don't want to put no negative energy in your way. And it's not because I'm afraid of you or anything like that. It's just because that's what we're supposed to do as human beings, is put out positive energy. To see you make 100 basically comments about me every single day in the comment section, it's kind of bothering. It's kind of disturbing. You understand what I'm saying?
That's it. I love the positivity, but not
Ticket
like
found
put that in your
Jesus.
shot glass and
I know
swallow it.
exactly what he's talking about as well.
Not to put that on a fly swatter and smack yourself. I get it though.
Who is he talking about?
Love the
Mars.
positivity.
So
Some guy called Exploding in the comments. He leaves like 7 comments a video about tickets.
I've seen a lot of comments about Ticket. Yeah,
Because I read like all the comments. Like I see him every show. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind like the comment or whatever. I mean, the guy comes in every comment section like 10 different comments, like threatening what he's gonna do and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, man. You know what I'm saying? And may heaven smile upon you and your family, bro.
Shout out, Ticket. Hey, you turned over a new stone, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the enlightened Ticket.
I'm not turning over a new stone. Come find me.
Oh.
That's where I'm at with it. Come find me.
Okay.
I can appreciate Ticket logic, and I can appreciate Ticket being positive with a lot of what he's talking about. But people like that, no. There's a reason why there's good and evil. Nah, come find me. I'm not hard to find. Those people need to be extinguished. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. No.
Chills with the complete opposite. But
chill though. Detlef will extinguish you, man. That was a cold-hearted killer right there, man.
Yes, he will.
Chewing the gum, staring through your soul.
And Detlef was tough too. He'll fight you.
Oh, dude, Detlef versus Peja in a bar fight?
Yeah, Detlef will fight you too.
Yeah, you best know Peja's losing his sack that night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yo, Potter, I'm not gonna stand for too much more of this.
Hey, Domo, chill out. Hey, Domo, here we go, Domo. Okay, for the 3rd time already. Okay, Domo, chill out now.
Yo, chill. I'm gonna start with you, my guy. You said take out Peja. Who else would you put in?
Kukoc.
Kukoc?
Yes.
So your lineup's Kukoc or Luka, Drazen, Kukoc, Giannis, Jokic. I
actually I don't like Petrovic neither, to be honest with you. As good as Petrovic was, I'm not liking Petrovic because he was a what if. He as good as he was in Europe and playing in the NBA, he only played a couple of years. I would replace him with Marciulionis.
Okay. All right, we got Chill's list. Domo. In all seriousness, you got to roll out a team to try to win the gold medal. Who you taking?
I got you. We're gonna take Frederick Weiss off of there, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna take him off of there. And at that point, really give me anybody. But if I had to pick personally, I would say Arvydas Sabonis. I would put Arvydas there. Contrary to popular belief, I'm gonna leave my guy Peja there. I've seen Peja play, and I'm not gonna just go off a bunch of, oh man, in my time kind of tales. I respect it. I all respect.
It was almost the same time. It was only like 5-6 years before.
6 years makes a big difference for me. So I'm gonna keep Peja there. I'm gonna leave that list just like that. Take Frederick Weiss off, put Arvydas on, and that will be my list. I'm going based off people I know and have seen play. I'm not gonna speak for stuff I just don't know.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I respect that.
Mars, you get to choose between trolling and not trolling. What would your list be?
Get Darko Milicic in there instead of Dirk.
Okay. So Darko and Frederick coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think that's a good defensive front court right there.
Tough. And you keep AK there?
I mean, I'm still high on Sasha Vujicic, but
so Mars, like for real, Mars, before you go any further, what is your fascination with Sasha Vujicic? Now, I can appreciate his ability to shoot the long ball, but what is your fascination?
He brings those winning intangibles that AK didn't have. He has 2 rings, AK conference finals appearance in Utah, but nothing resulted from it. Better shooter, so that shows that he's just also a better overall player, especially in today's game because we need shooting. So I think Sasha Vujicic is better, to be honest.
Because he's a better shooter. That's it. That's all you're giving me.
And the winning intangibles.
The fact that he was the 9th man on the championship team.
Winning intangibles.
Okay.
Like Udonis Haslem has winning intangibles, and he wasn't even playing, but we understand what he brought to the team.
Well,
Sasha
number one, that's
Vujacic was
completely
doing.
different, Mars, because he was a starter on a championship team more than once, more than twice. So that's not true.
No, but I'm talking about in 2023, we still understood what he was bringing, even though
he was 40 years old, Mars. That's not the same thing.
And Sasha Vujacic brings that same intangibles.
Okay, that's it. All right. If you want to go with that, we'll go with that. But
there we go. Thank you.
He's trolling you, Chad.
That's what it's clear. The more I'm around Mars, Dub, just so you know, the more I'm around Mars, the more I understand the trolling and the more I understand what he is.
You have to. Otherwise,
but I try, you understand the trolling when I want you to understand the trolling. If I wanted to just disguise the trolling, you wouldn't.
But I do know when Mars is
serious.
Serious
troller like this.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand when he's serious.
Yeah, maybe.
Marshall was upset about what I said.
Why didn't Paul and Marcus all get drafted? I'm confused about that.
Because Dirk is on the bench.
I voted for both of them, by the way. They both got a vote for me. Paul was my first power forward off the bench, and Mark was my first center off the bench.
That's if Dirk was starting, Power and Marcus would have made it.
Right. That's because Mars want to move Giannis to the 3. That's
how you have to get them all on the floor.
Let me see. It's shady though. That's shady.
Giannis has played the 3.
He has.
Giannis has.
Exactly. So I don't see the problem.
This is disgusting.
So Doug,
Giannis at the 3 is better than Peja and Tony Kukoc and Detlef Schrempf at the 3.
I would have
in the Euro game.
That's not what we're doing. We're doing it as players.
As players.
Yeah.
Giannis is better than Tony Kukoc. Giannis at the 3 is better than Tony Kukoc at the 3.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I think he's better down here. I think Tony stretches the floor a little bit more.
Who cares about shooting, man? Everyone's addicted to shooting, man. It's not all about shooting.
Giannis probably shouldn't have been on this team.
See,
why not?
He's Nigerian, man. He ain't even European.
That don't go, well. There's that, but I'm just saying, like, we're trying to build a team to win, man. Y'all should have just pulled me up yesterday and let me take care of this.
Hey, don't worry. We gonna hear your alterations to this roster, but first, Dub, what would you do?
I would have took Weiss out and then put Mark or Paul, probably Paul in there, and then let me see the list again. I mean, what Mars said isn't too bad. Just put Giannis at the 3 because he could play the 3, especially with Jokic and what's his name there, Dirk there, and then put Pau Gasol right there. So that's what, and then take Peja out. I mean, that would be better. Or you could put Peja at the 2 and take Rudy Fernandez out. So that's what you could have done.
Okay.
Or just take Drazen Petrovic out, and then that would be a way better lineup. And put Manu Ginobili too. I don't know why.
South America.
South.
Yeah, good work, Dub.
Focus up. All European team, Dub. Focus, brother.
My bad. I thought it was internet. I almost said Hakeem too. My bad.
Hakeem played for Team USA.
All right. Go ahead, Ox. Pirate, I'm saving you for last, buddy. And Ticket, if you would like to, make alterations, you got it too. But Ox, what are you doing?
First of all, get Luke out of there. Tony's starting. Tony's starting at the 1. Tony's starting at the 1. Kukoc is starting at the 3. Dirk is starting at the 4, and Arvydas Sabonis is starting at the 5. I'm fine with Luka coming off the bench at the 1. I'm fine with Rudy Fernandez. I want Peja to come off the bench at the 3. So Dirk is starting. Give me Linus Kleza coming off the bench at the 4.
Kleza. And
then I'll take Marc Gasol coming off the bench at the 5.
There's no way you don't have Jokic out here.
So it's a big way.
It's not Jokic on the crew, Domo. Jokic is not on the crew.
I got Arvydas Sabonis and Marc Gasol. I'm fine with that.
Marc Gasol is better.
Jokic kills both of them. Jokic kills both of them.
A 22-year-old Arvydas Sabonis?
Arvydas would get Jokic would kill him.
Matter of fact, Domo. Matter
of fact, Domo. I'm starting Arvydas Sabonis. I'm coming off the bench with the Sabonis.
Jokic has killed him. That's not even hypothetical. Jokic has killed him.
Jokic is not destroying a 22, 23-year-old Sabonis. He's not. I want to get to the bottom of that right now.
Arvydas Sabonis is the best Euro center.
Arvydas Sabonis is the best European center that ever walked the earth.
Mars,
he would have been if Nikola Jokic came waddle out of Serbia and start giving buckets. He would have.
Even if you never saw him.
I'll start
All I would say to you, Mars, is just think Joker step a better athlete. The skill set that you see with Joker, all that stuff that you see with Joker now, just think of him as a better athlete.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
So prime Arvydas Sabonis in today's game, the best player in the world.
Yes, we definitely having that conversation. We having a serious conversation about prime Arvydas Sabonis being the best player on the planet.
He was like 7'2", and when he was young, he was skinny. People just think of like 35-year-old Portland Arvydas Sabonis. He was an old man.
Well, that's what I've seen. So.
Right.
I mean, that's all.
He had foot problems. He had foot problems later on. But when he was in the Olympics in '88, and like I said, think Joker, except a better athlete today and bigger,
much bigger.
We're having a serious conversation about him being the best player on the planet. Yes, we are.
Crazy passer. I mean, he would be racking up at times.
Is he a good enough scorer as Jokic?
Yes, he could shoot the basketball with the best of them. He could get to the basket with the best of them. He stretches the defense.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
similar
at the time,
similar to Joker, he was more of a downhill guy, but he could shoot the mid range and he could shoot the long ball.
So
and he can shoot it in transition too.
So his scoring is you say his scoring is comparable to Jokic. That's what you said.
Like I said, yes. When you're talking about Sabonis, we're having a serious conversation about him being the best player on the planet. Yes.
Yeah, that's just not true. I'm sorry. I mean, if we're gonna just sit here and project because of what he was younger doing in the EuroLeague, I mean, y'all can do that. But this is the same people that don't really like hypotheticals like that.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I don't like that question because, like,
that's not true. Because we talk about hypotheticals every day, so that's not true.
For sure, I never said you didn't. I said you don't like doing it like that. And then the main thing we could just go off of what he did in the league on Portland, and he showed no flashes of being the scorer that Jokic is. Jokic is being capable to drop 30 on anybody, on guys like he's done it on guys like Rudy Gobert. He's done it on guys like Bam Adebayo. He's done it on everybody in the league who's big. On top of that, even though he's a good passer, he doesn't have the same type of passing impact that Jokic would have, in my opinion. He never would. So yeah, I mean, just saying that it's just disrespectful to the younger generation.
No, it's not. And the reason why it's not disrespectful is because no, it's not. And the reason why it's not disrespectful is because the example that you bring up a slower, older Arvydas Sabonis who wasn't nearly as athletic as he was in terms of the years that we were talking about. His ability to pass was on par with some of the best in the game at the time when he played in the Olympics in 1988. These are the future players of the NBA who became awesome. He was destroying these guys. Absolutely destroying them, and there's no evidence to suggest that during that time, had he come into the NBA, he wouldn't have been doing the same thing to guys like Ewing, to guys like Mark Eaton. He would have been doing the exact same thing that he was doing to David Robinson. He would have been awesome during that time. And the example that you bringing up him being older, slower foot, injured, and heavier. So those two things are not the same.
Did any of those words ever come out mouth? Like you just saying things that never came out.
No, I'm not. You brought up Arvydas Sabonis when he was playing with the Portland Trailblazers. That's the guy that you brought up. I'm bringing up the guy who was younger. I'm bringing up the guy who was more athletic, who wasn't slower foot. And you also didn't bring up Joker, who today also dropped 35 pounds and was a lot lighter and is more athletic than what he was 3 or 4 years ago. So those two things are not the same thing.
Let me tell you something. Just because somebody becomes more athletic doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be better, right? Luka Doncic is a guy that isn't that crazy athletic. You could say a guy like Baron Davis or Gilbert Arenas was more athletic than him, but he's still being able to perform better than them, right? You don't have to be more athletic to be able to produce that. So the athleticism argument, we don't have to harp into that one. So again, you're projecting based off of what he was doing in the EuroLeague. Again, I'm not going to do that because at the end of the day, I'm not sure what he was going to do in the league at that time. I'm going to base it off of what happened, what he done in the NBA. I can understand the point where he probably could have been better than what he was in Portland in today's day, and I can get with that. But you're putting him on the level of the best player in the world right now, and it's disrespectful to the younger generation, Chilldown. It is. It is disrespectful. To say that he could be on that level is crazy. It's just crazy.
Is your logic, are you saying to me that if I'm more athletic, that wouldn't enhance my game?
I'm not saying it doesn't, but to sit here and just automatically think that he could, just because he's more athletic, he's on the level, could be on the level of Jokic, is insane as well. Like Luka Doncic isn't crazy athletic, but he's on a level that a lot of people who's far more athletic than him are never going to be on. So don't give me a logic like that. That doesn't make sense.
With that being said, if Luka Doncic was more athletic, would that enhance his game?
Yeah, I'm not saying that athleticism can't enhance.
That's the point.
Game, but
I'm making.
I'm saying not to the level of a Jokic, who's the best player in the world right now, or
well,
arguably.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is because, again, you brought up Sabonis, older, less athletic, and I'm bringing up a younger, more athletic Sabonis who was awesome, who had the similar skill set to Joker, and his game would have improved as he played in the NBA. That's the point.
It's on film. It's on tape. It's right there. You can see. You can see it. You can see it if you want to.
I mean, guys in the NBA were saying, "Yo, that guy over in Russia."
If you want to look,
that dude's like one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think you're listening right here, Chip.
I heard everything that you just said, dog.
No, you're not.
I heard everything.
It's not process. It's not processing.
Your logic about Luka. Luka isn't as athletic and he tearing up the league. Well, imagine Luka being more athletic. How much more would Luka tear up the league?
Yeah, my blessed brother Doug.
Again, hold on.
I didn't say too much, my blessed brother. May blessings be rise upon you. And this new shining of ticket, the corporation.
What is this?
This is what they wanted. They wanted the suit and tie corporate ticket. They was complaining about the other ticket, so I have to give them the corporation ticket. But my blessed
ticket Farrakhan.
Arvydas Sabonis, sir, was the reason that they formed the Dream Team. He destroyed the '88 Olympics team, like Chilltown was saying. And so that was part of the reason why they built the Dream Team in '92. Arvydas Sabonis, man. And look, you can go look up his videos online from Europe. The cat was yamming on dudes. He was absolutely destroying cats, pushing in full court. All the stuff you see Jokic doing, he was doing easy, blocking shots, way more athletic. I mean, bro. And then for him to be dominating the Americans like David Robinson, the American creme de la creme of the NBA. I mean, for you to say that, bro, it's not disrespectful, bro, because nobody would have ever seen or thought Jokic could do what he do until he actually came to the NBA and did it against weaker competition than what Arvydas Sabonis was playing then. So
what doesn't make sense to me is, number one, there's tons of players that's dominating in other leagues and Euro leagues and Spanish leagues right now to this day. But we're not going to sit here and go with the logic of they could sit here and replicate that in the fucking what's it called, in the NBA. On top of that, there's people.
Please don't curse my brother.
Okay. Yes, sir. Ticket. My bad. On top of that, there's people that has dominated Team USA numerous times, but sit here and couldn't replicate that in the NBA. So just y'all basing y'all opinions off of what he was doing in the Euro League, what he was doing in the Olympics, and just automatically assuming that he could sit here and replicate that and be on the level of a Jokic who's dropping you a 30-point triple-double in the postseason. In the postseason, not even in the postseason, bro. That is ridiculous.
Y'all understand that Dub do not want to hear this shit. If everything you saying is going in one ear and out the other, he on that stubborn top.
I can say the same thing about y'all. I can say the same thing about y'all. It's going in one ear and out the other. Y'all don't make sense. Y'all love saying all of this. Y'all love saying all this cap about the younger generation. Y'all love saying all this cap about how the young guys disrespect the old guys. When the old guys disrespecting the young guys, it just don't mean nothing. Now it's not going into it don't make sense.
It's not disrespect.
Make it make sense.
This is simply
make it make sense.
My brother Doug.
And simply by watching and seeing it, I disagree with you.
We got to take
my brother. My brother Doug. When you look at Sabonis, when you look at when he was in the league,
this is nostalgia at its finest, bro.
Well, let me say this to you. When you look at he was in the league, 33 years old. Basically, you got to take this into equation too. In Europe, those are like dog years in Europe. I mean, those years, man, bro. Like 1 year in Europe is like probably 2 or 3 years in the league, bro. And so you're 33 coming, and I mean that. Like the 2-a-days, they take a toll on you, bro. Like those really take a toll on you. The 2-a-days that you're doing every day.
That's why he broke down. That's how you break down when he got to the league.
Yeah, the NBA is so much easier on these guys' bodies, even though we think it's not. But even when he was at 33 and he was averaging a double-double in the NBA, I think it's from around 15, 16 points and double-digit rebounds. Even when he was doing that at an advanced age, if you thought about that, he was doing that in the league at an advanced age coming into the league. All those years he spent over in Europe, do you know the numbers he would have been putting up in that era? He probably would have been a 20 in at least 23, 24, and 10, 11 guy. And I'm talking about in his younger years. And the fact, and like I said, the fact is this, again, he destroyed Team USA. He destroyed them in the Olympics. That's why they built the Dream Team, because he absolutely annihilated those guys in '88, like Chilltown said. I'm glad Chilltown brought that up, because you can go back and actually watch the film. It's online. You can watch the film of how he was cooking them dudes, bro. And listen, you could just tell, like, his skill set, bro, was next level, man. His ability to get steals, push the ball in transition, see plays before they happen. Like you said something about him not being able to do the things Jokic does as far as passing the ball. I totally disagree with that, because Arvydas Sabonis saw plays before they happened too. He put passes on the money too that you didn't even think. He threaded the needle many times and had so many great passes throughout his career that I seen him make some of the same passes and even better passes than what I've seen Jokic make. And this is just not me just talking. So again, him proving it against Team USA, him being at the top level in Europe and proving it. And then us having to say the top players from Europe coming to the NBA and making heavy impacts. They're becoming MVPs. They're becoming all-world players. These top players in Europe, most of them that's coming to the NBA with the height like Sabonis has. And then you take a watered-down version of him, of his son, that's coming to the league, and his son is almost a 20-10 guy, and that's a watered-down version of Arvydas. So I just want you to put in your mind.
I don't know about watered down. Watered down is crazy.
Well, no, it's watered down.
It's a watered down version. You. Oh, I'm gonna let Tiggy go. Go ahead, Tiggy.
It's a watered down version of his father, because his father was way better than that. As good as we see Sabonis today, his father was way better than that. And I just think that sometimes, bro, like I think on this one conversation, I think that Dub has it wrong, because I think Dub is miscalculating how good of effect he would have had playing in the NBA in a big man era where they were going to throw the ball and play through the big man. If you were skilled, you were going to get it done.
Hold on, Domo. I want to talk to my good brother Ticket real quick for a second, man.
Amen.
Number one, praise the Lord, hallelujah, man. Let's start off with that. Amen. Number two, we want to talk about Arvydas Sabonis. I want everyone to understand something. I'm not saying Arvydas is going to be trash. I'm not saying Arvydas isn't going to be good. I'm not saying Arvydas isn't going to be better. All I'm saying is you're putting this man on a level in Jokic where he has been leading some of the best offenses for the last 3 seasons with and without Jamal Murray. On top of that, he just had a postseason where he was averaging a 30-point triple-double against Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis. I'm sorry. It is very difficult for me to believe, even though I can agree Arvydas would be better than he was back then in Portland and better when he was younger. It's very hard to sit here and get with the logic that he's going to be capable of replicating something like that in today's league. We are comparing him to a man in Jokic who's having a crazy offensive peak, one of the craziest offensive peak we've seen in NBA history, and y'all just sitting here assuming that Arvydas Sabonis can replicate that. No, I'm not with that. I'm not with saying that. That's ridiculous to me.
Do you understand why I'm
if you look at Jokic's first few years in the league, we didn't see this. We saw Arvydas Sabonis. So again, if we look at Jokic's first couple of years in the league, we saw 10 points, we saw 16.7, 18.5. He peaked at 26.4 1 year. He peaked at 27.1 1 year, and now he's back down to 24.5, right? But the rebounding numbers would have been the same. He's 10.5 rebounds. That would have been the same. The assist numbers, the way that they play through Jokic in this era, the way that Arvydas Sabonis had the ability to pass the ball and get his teammates involved, I believe Arvydas Sabonis could have averaged around 6.5 assists in this game, especially with the shooting they have and just the backdoor cuts and all these guys with the athletes that he would have had around him. He would have been able to average the 6.5 assists that Jokic averaged. And then you look at the steals, 1.2. He'd have been on that too. Arvydas Sabonis had great hands for a big man, great athleticism, pushing the rock just like Jokic did. And then you look at the blocks. He was a better shot blocker than Jokic. Jokic doesn't even average a block per game. So then we got to look at the defensive end too. He was a way better defensive player than Jokic. So when we look at it, and then offense, his offense was just as good as Jokic's. You got to remember, You got to remember, he came in the league at 30. He came in the league, and at 33, he was averaging 16 and 10 in the league. At 33,
Domo, you got
Jokic.
right.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
I just want to say I respectfully disagree, my good brother. I pray for blessings upon you.
I'm gonna say this to you. At 33 years old,
Domo,
because
Jokic
is 20. Hold on, Jokic is 27 right now. Jokic is 27 right now. At 33 years old, I don't see Jokic doing the same thing he's doing now. I think Jokic is going to slow down just the same way that Arvydas Sabonis slowed down later in his career. I don't see Jokic as one of those players that's going to be averaging 20 and 10 for like almost 10 years in his league. I see Jokic playing at the level he's playing at for 3 to 4 years max. And that'll be right around 31 years old. And then I think you'll see a significant drop off like you do in many of these big men. So when Arvydas Sabonis was in the league at 33 years old, averaging 16 and 10, Dub, that will probably be right around where Jokic is at that same time. So I do think, and he's playing in the league that, you know what I'm saying, guys are more focused on shooting the threes. He's getting guys where he's just they're catching and shooting instantly. They're not playing a full-fledged offense like they did back in the day where they threw it in the post. They moved the ball around the perimeter a few times. It wasn't easy to come off assist in that era unless you were point guards like a Jay Kidd or like a John Stockton who mainly had the ball, guys like Gary Payton. It wasn't easy for big men to rack up those assists, but the way they play now with his game, yes, and that's the part you're missing. His game fits perfectly into this era.
Okay, so and why I was saying that, and after Power went on his spiel about, you know, the players that we left off the list, and I really was sitting there not knowing Detlef Schrempf. I didn't know ball about Detlef Schrempf. So we were talking about Arvydas. I knew of old Arvydas. I didn't really see too much of young Arvydas. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm gonna go actually look at some quick film just to see what his game was like. Arvydas was a dog. He was a hooper. He had game. But I'm not gonna sit here and just say, you take what I seen or take what he was when he was younger, put it in today, and he's able to replicate some of the great things we're seeing these offensive bigs do. What I seen from him, and chill, production-wise, if you're going to give him the ball repeatedly, yes, he might be able to produce as much as a Jokic, but he can't score how Jokic scores. The way I was seeing him get – hold on. I'll let you talk. Just let me talk. The way I was seeing him get buckets, it was a lot of people getting him the ball. He takes one move and gets to the rim. It was never a situation where he got it, gave you one or two moves, really worked for a bucket using a bag, using a bunch of tools to get the bucket. It was a bunch of things. He was just either going straight up over people, straight through people, or just that old big man way of just catch and hook it. And I'm not going to just assume because you put a guy that does have offense capabilities in today's game, he'll be able to just come out there, give you a Hakeem Hezi, come spin, score, and really get in the bag how we've seen Jokic do it. It's too many players in today's game that was born in 94, 95, 96, 97, young guys that have no tools in terms of scoring the basketball. Jalen Duren is one of the promising bigs in terms of a prospect. He's literally offensive Dwight Howard. He is just size, physicality, skill. I mean, size, physicality, athleticism. That's it. There's no real – he's building it, but as of right now, there's no real finesse. There's no real bag to him getting a basket. That's what I see with Sabonis. Sabonis, if we take Sabonis and put him over in today's game, yes, he'll be able to shoot off of a pick and pop. Yes, he'll be able to catch and shoot. He'll be able to space the floor. But he is not going to create the way that Jokic creates. Yes, he can pass, but from what I've seen, and yes, I understand the highlights isn't a full game. From what I've seen, yes, he will make good passes, but I wouldn't say, and if I don't know ball, I don't know ball. I wouldn't say he was running these offenses with his playmaking and passing. He was a big who could pass and made good passes. So I'm not going to sit here and say Arvydas could not compete or wouldn't be good. Right. But again, watching how he was playing, and yes, tremendous on defense, will get after it, get you some blocks, had good hands, had good footwork. Jokic would.
That's BS. That's BS.
I think that hold on a second. I think that what you're not factoring in, Domo, is we're bringing the young Arvydas Sabonis into the league at this time. We're not keeping that young Arvydas Sabonis. He's actually going to improve. He's not just going to stay 23-year-old Arvydas Sabonis. He's going to get better every year, like Joker did. He's going to improve his game. He's going to improve his skill set, like Joker did. And he's going to be better when you run in the offense. Joker isn't the player today in year 9 that he was 6 years ago. Well, the same logic goes with Arvydas Sabonis, who at 23 years old, if he shows up into the NBA, his game is going to expand because that's what the game is today. When you got a guy like Joker where you run the offense through him and you got a lot of action going off the ball with him, that is what Arvydas Sabonis' game was. In fact, that's what the Euro game was, and that plays right into his hands. So if he's playing in an offense like what Joker is playing in, he would thrive in that and improve every year like Joker improved every year, which is why Joker is in the conversation as the best player on the planet, which is where I believe Arvydas Sabonis would be.
And Chilltown, he didn't need to have a bag. When you're bigger than everybody else, all you had to do was go shoot over people. So like when you were guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and these other guys who were so dominant, you didn't have to have a bag full of moves just to get off. So that point right there was pure idiocy, because why would I need a bag if I'm bigger than everybody and all I got to do is just go up, throw a jump hook over you and you can't stop me? The point is to make as less movements as you can to get to the basket and to get a bucket. So Arvydas Sabonis, being a 7-footer, being bigger than all those other guys were, all he had to do was catch the ball and go up over a jump hook. Jokic is not bigger than Sabonis, so yes, Jokic does have to make moves, and he's not as athletic as Jokic. So he's not gonna hold on. Let me finish. He's not as athletic as Jokic, so he's not gonna be. Because I'm gonna cook your ass today, because how you cooked me yesterday. Excuse my French. Because you got me yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. You got me on AD yesterday. I admit that. Now it's time for me to drop the people's elbow on you today. So yeah. So let me say this to you, Dom. I'm gonna say it again. So when you look at a guy like Sabonis, who was superiorly athletic than Jokic needs those moves to get his shots off. Because if he doesn't, he'll get his shot blocked like he would a lot of times, and like he does if he doesn't use 100 pump fakes to get his shot off. So that right there annihilates your whole thing about, oh, I seen Jokic just using one move and he had a bag of moves. And then let's talk about this. He played in an era where the big men were way better than what Jokic is playing. So again, he was playing against guys like David Robinson. He played in the era of big men. He came to the league older and helped the team almost get to the NBA Finals. So as an older man, he helped the team almost get to the NBA Finals. Hold on. These are all facts. Hold on. Mm-hmm. These are all facts. So what I'm saying to you is, when you taking a guy like that, you guys are looking at Jokic today, what he became. Jokic wasn't that when he came in the league. We're saying to you, if Arvydas Sabonis was in the same type of situation, his game is tailor-made for what the Denver Nuggets do. And he's more athletic, and he's bigger, and he can do more things than what Jokic can do defensively as well. So you saying what you're saying, sir, it makes absolutely no sense, because when you look at it, again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. He don't have to have 100 moves if you're bigger than everybody else. All I want you to do is get the ball, jump hook, and barbecue these dudes. That's all Shaq had to do. That's all guys like Arvydas Sabonis had to do. That's all. Now, when you have other guys who are not as athletic, then they need a lot of post moves. They need a lot of up and unders and pump fakes to get off in the post. But when you are supremely athletic, the coach teaches you one thing in the game of basketball: attack the basket and go up. So when you said that, that's what you're supposed to do when you're bigger, faster, and got more athleticism than everybody else. Go ahead.
Gotcha. 2 questions. 1, so was Hakeem and Tim Duncan not athletic, at least for guys their size? Other 7-footers with bags.
They were. Yes, they were athletic.
Okay, but they still had to. They still couldn't just go up and just finish over people, finish through people.
They had to be counter moves, 100%. They had to be counter moves.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Okay,
Tim Duncan, hold on. That's not true. I'm gonna answer right now. Hold on. That's not true, because Tim Duncan can face you up and hit that little bank shot all night long. That little 10-foot bank. Hold on. That little 10-foot bank shot. Tim Duncan didn't need no move to get that off. Wasn't nobody blocking that. I never seen nobody blocking Tim Duncan's face up jumper. In fact, Tim Duncan only pulled out moves when he had to. Tim Duncan would hit you with one move. He'll back you down, go to a jump hook. Back you down, go to a reverse jump hook. You never seen Tim Duncan doing 1,000 pump fakes like what Jokic do in the post. So that's a lie right there. Or you seen a face up mid-range jump shot. Hold on. hold on, off the glass. And let's talk about Hakeem. The reason why Hakeem brought his out is because Hakeem actually played against centers who were extremely athletic in that era every single night. You was dealing with dudes like Alonzo Mourning. You was dealing with dudes like Shaquille O'Neal. You was dealing with the superior athletes in the NBA. You understand? So then when you had to play in that era, you had to use up fakes to get guys who were supreme shot blockers in the air, because if not, you were facing guys on a nightly basis that were as athletic or more athletic than you. So in that era, guys like Hakeem, yes, he would use pump fakes because of the simple fact when you're playing against a guy like Shaq, who's a younger guy, who's going to jump for everything, you use that against them. You use that to help get those guys in foul trouble. Same thing when you're talking about guys like Alonzo Mourning, these guys like Dikembe Mutombo, guys who were professionals at the sport of blocking shots and playing defense. So you had to pull out.
My point. So hold on.
No. I'm saying today, but I'm saying today, you really don't have to do that. You don't have to really do all that with guys like Rudy Gobert, because I'm gonna just say it to you right now. You think Shaq would need a pump fake for Rudy Gobert? Do you think Tim Duncan would need a pump fake for Rudy Gobert? No, it's barbecue chicken. It's right at your neck. I'm going at you. Post up, straight buckets. Period. So all that stuff you saying about, Arvydas didn't have these moves, bro. He didn't need the moves. He was bigger than all these other dudes that's in the league today. He was just as tall as Rudy Gobert and those guys. And so they would have had a problem trying to block his shot straight up. He didn't need to use no pump fakes and post moves, bro. And Arvydas, like I said, he was killing dudes who were supremely athletic as well. He annihilated David Robinson, and that was when he was the Admiral, not the old David Robinson. Huh?
Who else?
Oh, he was killing all them other dudes that was in the league. Even when he was an old man, he was giving dudes work when he was in the league. When he was with the Portland Trailblazers, all those other great big men that was in the league. Go look it up.
He wasn't just going up over him. He was still.
Yes, he was. Look it up. He was going straight jump hook. Look it up. Did you watch the game? Hold on. Did you watch the game?
At least let me finish what I'm trying to say. Just let me finish. All I'm trying to say is, if you take Arvydas Sabonis for what he was when he was younger and put him in today's game, he's not going to be able to.
He only averaged 4 assists overseas as well.
He's not going to just be able to just go up and through. I'm not saying the jump hook ticket. I understand he can get it. Boom, one dribble, post hook over somebody. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I mean when I say the old school big man way of just going up and over somebody. They'll literally catch it and just leap over you and literally honey dip it into the rim. That's what he was doing to these cats overseas. What I'm saying is, if you put him into the league today, he's not doing that with Rudy Gobert. I'm not saying he can't score on Rudy Gobert. That's not what I'm saying. Just like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan could score on Rudy Gobert. He's not going to just be able to go up and over Rudy Gobert. That's just not going to happen. There are big today that
all those dudes. Hold on. Again, this is the problem. You guys are putting Rudy Gobert on the level he shouldn't be on. Y'all are comparing him to this weak era of big men. You only have a couple of great big men in the league: Embiid, Jokic. Centers.
He wouldn't be able to do that to Embiid.
Hold on. No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Hold on, you're not hearing what. Hold on, you're not listening. Hold on, you're not listening to what I'm saying. So once again, you're comparing him. You're talking about an era of dudes who have been overrated. Rudy Gobert is a vastly overrated big center. If Rudy Gobert played in the 90s, he would routinely get barbecued every single night, and it wouldn't be funny. It wouldn't be funny. So for you to say that, sir, that is completely incorrect. Your information.
What's incorrect?
Hold on. No, it's not. Hold on, Dub. No, it's not. Hold on, Dub. No, it's not incorrect, because in the era that Arvydas Sabonis came up, the game was played different. That's true. They played a slower paced game, and it wasn't the big man being at the top of the key, being able to control the offense and get a lot of assists like guys like Jokic and guys like Draymond Green. It wasn't that. We're saying he was one of the bigs who had that ability. Not everybody had it, but he was one of the bigs who had the ability to play the same way Jokic plays because of his ability to pass the ball, because of his ability to shoot the ball. Hold on. Because of his ability to shoot the ball and to push the ball. That's what me and Chilltown are saying. We're saying that if you put him in this offense, he had the ability to do that. And the last thing I'm saying is that you guys, you and Dub and you guys, y'all overrate the big men in this era.
So Giannis and AD are overrated?
No, you're not hearing me. I don't count Giannis as a center. I'm talking about the centers. I'm talking about his two great centers in the league right now, Embiid and Jokic. Outside of that, all these other dudes is average or below average. These are the facts. Back then, almost every damn player on the team, every team damn near had a great center. Almost every team across the board had a great center. So you going against Alonzo one night, you going against David Robinson one night, you going against Shaq one night, you going against Rick Smith one night, you going against and then not only did they have those
Boyle,
right? They had four men who were great too that was going beside them, the Dale Davises of the world.
Oh, now we can talk about wars, but when I say Giannis,
I'm talking about defensive wise of how they had the guys they had to play.
About defense, you can't bring up.
So Dub said Dub snuck in and said something slick. Dub said, "Oh, he only averaged 4 assists overseas." That was because they didn't play like they played. They didn't play.
That can play defense today. This is crazy.
I'm saying
y'all saying names like you can't just name names today of big men who play defense.
I'm telling you that each of these teams had two bigs No, I'm saying each of these teams that Sabonis was playing against, most of them had two bigs that you were going against, two legit defensive bigs. They had a bruiser and they had a big man that was getting buckets that could block shots and play excellent defense around the basket. Look across the board. You can go back and look to the Houston Rockets when they had Akeem and Robert Horry. You can go back and look at the goddamn Orlando Magic when they had Shaq and Horace Grant. You can look at the San Antonio Spurs when they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson for the year. You can go back and look at the Utah Jazz when they had the big fella and Karl Malone. And then they had big dog Antoine Carr coming off the bench. You can go and look at all across the board. All those teams were constructed like that. Hold on. All those teams were constructed like that.
Antoine Carr?
Coming off the bench, big dog. Yes, with the goggles. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, coming off the bench. Yes. Hold on. That's better than most of the guys. Hold on. That's better than most of these.
I'm not worried about better or worse or anything. I've just never heard of Antoine Carr, so I want to get familiar with.
You never heard of Antoine Carr?
He was a big, but he was Utah. He was a
dirty worker. Hold on, Mars. But this is what happens when you don't know basketball. You get in the arena with ticket. You go to your go pick up a pen, go pick up a pad, and do your homework so you'll know these players I'm telling you about. Because I don't just know about the star players. I know about the other ones. I know about
offensive player than
I know about the key role players. Yeah. Big Antoine Carr with the goggles that came in putting in work. Chilltown to tell you he know what I'm talking about. So you wouldn't know nothing about that. Hold on. Dub. Here's the only thing I'm saying, bro. Y'all are discrediting the fact that again, Jokic came into the NBA. He was not dominating. What Chilltown said was absolutely right because Arvydas Sabonis had the ability and the capability. If you're a 33-year-old man putting up 16 and 10 in an era where the big man is elite in the NBA, that was great in that era. Those 16 and 10 in that era from a center, bro, Rasheed Wallace was in his prime averaging 17 and a half points and 9 rebounds. And we thought he was one of the best big men in the world at that time. So you got Arvydas Sabonis averaging 16 and 10, bro. That's great because the normal averages for big men would have been around 20 and 10 for the great big men in the league. So don't do this, dog. So when we saying what we saying, bro, put some respect on Arvydas Sabonis' name and on his game. His game really
Antoine Carr coming off the bench. I would assume
just ask for the same respect to be given to the younger players.
This is a dirty work guy.
Not the best name.
He was a dirty work guy. That's what he was.
This is ball production.
He was a dirty work guy. Yes, he was. He was a dirty work guy in a dirty work era. That's what he was. He wasn't.
So we giving him break. All right, man. I'm telling you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not even trying to talk light about our.
The other names were better.
And all I'm saying is when we talking about when you're going 99, you got to play bigs and then you name 6 bigs that everybody knows, and then you bring out fucking Antoine Carr, and I'm like, all right, I gotta know about Antoine Carr. And it's like, all right, buddy, this is Steven Adams off the bench.
I'm telling you, dude.
Dirty work guy. Steven Adams dirty work guy.
Hold on. I'm telling you, dude.
But if I bring Steven Adams up, I'm gonna get laughed at.
Dog, I'm telling you dudes that's not only starting, but I'm telling you, hold on. I'm telling you, it was so many.
Antoine Carr was only 6'9".
It was so many big. Yeah,
Antoine Carr not the best name.
Hold on, Mars. Charles Oakley was only 6'9", and he was absolute dog. And hold on.
No, I'm saying Antoine Carr wasn't Steven Adams. That's why I said.
No. Hold on. You're not hearing what I'm saying to you. I'm saying
you're cooking me. I ain't doing
okay. I'm saying to them that those teams not only had 2 very good big men that were starting on damn near every team. You also had great reserve big man that was coming that you had to deal with too. So and unlike this era and this league,
center was a great
hold on.
Let's just get off Antoine Carr. That was
I'm trolling.
You would not say that about Charles Oakley. You would not say that about any of those other big men that was 6'9", 6'10" back then that was bruisers. Those dudes was legit, dog. And I'm talking, when you're talking about having to go up and try to put up 20 and 10 against those guys, that was never an easy night. So my point to you is that this era that you guys are praising, this is a watered down, washed up era of big men, and it's only got 2 or 3 great centers in the league and a couple great power forwards. That's it. And that era that
era that had Reggie Evans coming off the bench.
He was starting. Reggie Evans was starting. Stop lying.
And at one point, he came off the bench too. He also came off the bench at one point in his career as well. But
he was starting for most of his time.
He's a dirty work guy too.
He was starting most of his time.
Hey, regardless if he's okay, so you got somebody, a big man that's comparable on defense, starting next to Reggie Evans. Oh no, the paint is goddamn demolished. What are we doing? I could just say,
hey, we got to move on, y'all. We got to move on. But in light of us talking about, the all-European team that we put together, Arvydas Sabonis, and all these other Detlef Schrempf, Tony Kukoc, shout out AK-47.
Well, I mean, LeBron, can I read off one real quick, just a stat line for Arvydas Sabonis in the EuroLeague? 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists. Thank you. That's from Warnock. Appreciate you. So we think that guy's gonna be a 30-point triple-double.
Well, Luka only averaged.
Well, they play less minutes in the
one more time, Mars, for the people in the cheap seats. They ain't hear you in the back, Mars. One more time for the people in the cheap seats.
Luka only averaged 16 in the EuroLeague, and he was.
Thank you.
They play less minutes.
How old
they play less minutes?
You cook the Mars for open Jimmy.
It doesn't matter how old he was the best player in the league, and he was putting out 16. The numbers don't translate just 16 in the NBA, 16 in the EuroLeague. No, that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works. But to sit here,
that's exactly how it works, Dub. Because you just brought up the numbers.
Whoa.
That's exactly how it works.
If you put Jokic in the EuroLeague, he'd probably be about 18, 11, and 6. Probably.
Right. Yeah.
But he comes to the NBA, he's 32 with 9 and 8.
You think Jokic would do 18, 11, and 6 in the EuroLeague?
He would probably put up about 18, 11, and 6, probably.
Let's say Jokic was
when he plays for Serbia, his numbers aren't just crazy.
The game is different, Dub. In EuroLeague, they're playing more like they played in the NBA in the 90s. In EuroLeague, they slowing it down. They're not doing all this advanced offense, coming up, jacking up threes. Bro, even the greatest players in the world, guys like Kobe Bryant, would have went to EuroLeague and averaged like 22 points a game. He's got all the numbers and stuff.
Less minutes, no 3 seconds.
There's guys in the EuroLeague that can't come to the NBA and produce. And there's guys that play in the NBA that won't translate to the EuroLeague. That's what we got that on record.
I just brought that up.
I just brought that up in 2019, and
I just brought that up for Warnock.
In 2019, you just say, Mars. How much did he average?
Jokic played FIBA in 2019 and averaged 11, 7, and 5.
And just so you know, Dub, that was 5 years ago. He was 21 years old.
Hey, but Jokic did play last year and was cooking though.
I just brought that up. I just brought that up because Warnock was hitting my line.
Ron, what did he average last year, Ron? What Jokic average last year?
I don't know. One of you guys can look that up.
I think he was 24, 13.
Since you jumped in and said that, sir, Ron, I need you to pull up the numbers.
Hold on. I'm trying to talk about what happened right now in FIBA. I'm trying to transition into what
last year. Now you want to switch the topic since we asked you to pull the numbers up, Ron. Because now we're gonna get you now. We're gonna get you now since you tried to jump in. Since you tried to two-pop the court.
Definitely cooking last year.
We want you to pull them numbers up, Ron.
I'm pulling it up.
I think Joker last year was like 24, like almost 13.
It was something like that. He was cooking. Jokic was cooking. Luka was cooking. They all were cooking last year. But I agree with you guys' point. I know the EuroLeague. So he's definitely not going to go over there and average a triple-double. He's definitely not going to go there and average nothing close to above 23, 24. I could see him like 19, 11, 12, and probably 5 assists, something like that.
Are you talking about a FIBA Eurobasket?
Yeah.
Last 21, 10, and 4. 22, 10, and 4.
Okay.
Bro, LaMelo Ball might get cut over in EuroLeague. I ain't like y'all. Hold on,
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because you guys think these dudes think that your game, just because you nice hair, you gonna be nice hair too. That's not the way that works.
That's what you're thinking. That's how you're thinking with Sabonis. What are you talking
No,
about?
that's not the way I'm thinking with Sabonis.
That's exactly
how
you're thinking.
No, I'm
What
not
are you
thinking that way
talking
with
about?
Sabonis. What I'm saying
You're
with
doing the
Sabonis,
same
and I'll
thing
say
in
this,
reverse.
I'll say this one more time with Sabonis. You completely leave out the fact that Sabonis at age 23 is not going to improve. He's going to be the same player.
Why you? This is what you do, Chilltown. You apply your own way of thinking to what people are saying rather than what they actually said. I never said that. I'm saying the same thing you're criticizing other people for, and that's what y'all do all the time. Y'all criticize other people for doing the same exact thing. You're saying because this guy was nice here, he's gonna be 30-point triple-double. That's exactly what you're saying, and you just complain about
why am I saying that, dog? Can you explain to people why I'm saying that with the logic that I just brought up?
You've explained everything, and I say I respectfully disagree. But don't complain. Don't complain about other people doing it when you're doing the same exact thing. You're doing the same exact thing. That's all I have to say.
All right, fellas, we're gonna move on. We had some the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 just kicked off today. The actual games that count. So we got some NBA players that are playing over there. And we got some countries and games that I want to highlight. So let's go ahead and do that. Australia played Finland, and Australia beat Finland 98-72. As you know, Finland has Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen had himself a solid game. He was actually going crazy last summer as well. He had 19 and 8 today, even in a losing effort. Australia, who, they have a lot of NBA players on their team. Dyson Daniels, Matisse Thybulle, Josh Giddey, Patty Mills, Josh Green, Joe Ingles, Dante Exum. They got a solid team. But it was two guys for Australia that got down today. First off, Josh Giddey had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. And then Patty Mills exploded for 26 points and 8 rebounds. So we're going to be talking about Australia a lot, I'm assuming, over this summer. I expect them to make a pretty deep run. Also,
Focus, Domo.
The Dominican Republic played the Philippines. As you know, the Dominican Republic has Cat. The Philippines, they have Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson, he had 27 points, 7 rebounds, had him a solid game. But they ended up losing 87-81 to the Dominican Republic. Cat had a modest 19 and 10. So shout out to Cat. Keeping it pushing, Germany beat up on Japan 81-63. For Japan, Yuta Watanabe had 21 points for them. And for Germany, a lot of us highlight Franz Wagner as probably their best player. He only had 13 points. More people might say Dennis Schroeder might be their second best player. He only had 17 points. But it was 2 other guys that play in the NBA for Germany that actually got down tonight. Daniel Tice had 20.6 rebounds. And lo and behold, another Wagner, Big Wagner, Mo Wagner, had 31 points, 9 rebounds. Shout out Mo Wagner, putting on a FIBA stage. And last but certainly not least,
Wagner.
Canada absolutely demolished France, 95-65. Evan Fournier had 13 points. Rudy Gobert had 10 points and 9 rebounds. Kind of underwhelming for France. But Canada, boy, oh boy. Ticket, your boy Dylan Brooks, he came with 15. Kelly Olynyk had 17. Dwight Powell had 13. RJ Barrett was underwhelming in 29 minutes. He went 1 for 10 from the field, and he only had 4 points.
Ron, how do we feel about him?
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna get to that in a second, Ticket. But SGA absolutely went nuclear, crazy, ballistic. In 27 minutes, SGA scored 30. Whoa, hold on. Oh, SGA had 27 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. My bad, y'all. I thought he had 36 points.
Hold on, I want to ask Domo, where was Rudy Gobert at, Domo, when SGA was out there taking his lunch? Since you're doing all this glazing for Rudy Gobert and all this glazing defense, and they destroyed him. Canada destroyed him without Jamal Murray. Destroyed France. Demolished them dudes. And Rudy Gobert is the face.
Jamal Murray like he's the best Canadian.
He's the face. He is. He's the face.
SGA is.
Well, I disagree. Hold on. I disagree. We respectfully disagree. But like I said, as I said before, where was Rudy Gobert's antennas when SGA was out there busting his chops? Where was his antenna? No. He was Rudy Gobert supposed to be turning stuff back at the rim, right?
How many blocks did he have, Ron?
Yeah.
It's the same France team ain't that the same France team that finished second in the Olympics? They won the silver medal.
Hold on. Read Rudy Gobert's stat line. Read the great all-time world great Rudy Gobert that Domo is up typing. Read his stat line, Ron. What was his stat line?
Yo, and I got some of the previous stats right, so I'm gonna come back.
Read Rudy's stat line, Ron. Read his stat line.
Rudy had 8 points.
Bum.
He had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers, and 1 block. And his plus minus was minus 17.
Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here, man. He couldn't even get double back and forth. Get him out of here. Hey, Ron, you said something about Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks made some comment. He got his payday now. So now Dillon Brooks he's come back and said, since he got his money, he said he stand on everything he said in the playoffs. I just want to know what y'all thought about that. Now that he got his money,
hold on, take it a step further than that. He didn't say he stand on it. He said, "quote I had LeBron, I had him." only difference is that I've been talking like this all season. Y'all just made a big deal out of it right now.
That's
I'm waiting to hear the goofball alert siren so I can go further when I hear that right there. So but you didn't have him. No, you didn't. What? Not only did you not have him, you screwed your whole crew up by your play in your game. That was the problem. It wasn't the fact that you was talking to James and you were in his head. You were whack. You couldn't make shots. You couldn't slow him down or anybody who was in front of you. You didn't slow anybody down, but you had him. No, you didn't.
Then they got him on tape. Bron stepped to him before the game. The man looked like he seen the ghost. Did you see the tape when Bron stepped to him before the game? He walked up on the man like he seen a ghost, bro, and got quiet the rest of the series, bro. Come on, I can't take dudes like that serious. And now he's stuck with Barr's team. I told you. Wait, first 20 games of the season, Mars is going to come in here and say this is the worst decision that we made in the offseason. I promise you that.
If you want credit for Rudy Gobert being a bum, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I've been to
you and Dub glazing.
Domo has never shown love to Rudy Gobert.
Thank you. I've never done it.
I don't.
All I said was
Rudy Gobert too. What?
Me and Dub go back and forth with Rudy all the time. Dub and I fist fight about Rudy, but I cannot defend this. I can't.
This is all because when you wanted to bring up Arvydas Sabonis, you used Rudy Gobert as an example of a big man he could dominate, and I said I don't know if he can just go up and through Rudy. Rudy might be able to play a little bit of defense on him. Because Rudy is a center. We're talking about SGA is one of the best point guards in the NBA. I'm not surprised he bust his ass. Rudy Gobert got 50 put on him by Ben Simmons. I'm not surprised SGA can do that. But we're talking about a center who I said his bag was light. That's it. I don't know what comparisons you're trying to draw.
Who's the big man for Canada, Ron? Who's the center for Canada?
What are we talking about?
For Canada got Kelly Olynyk.
What did he have? What did they big men have, Ron? What did they big men have?
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
We got to be fair with Domo.
Here we go. I'm getting to it right now.
This is a big league, y'all. Now, against the worldwide world leader Rudy Gobert. Go ahead, Ron.
Again,
so you had Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell. They both started at the 4 and 5, and I'm assuming they both played a good amount of center minutes as well, staggering from each other. But Dwight Powell had 6 points, 3 rebounds. He was plus 35, though, while on the court. Kelly Olynyk had 18 points, 4 rebounds.
I mean, hold on. A C-level center had how much on Rudy Gobert?
That's the center ticket?
Bro, repeat that one more time, Ron.
Kelly Olynyk had 18 points.
Ron, do me a favor. Wait, Ron. Please say the shooting splits. Please tell me the shooting splits.
Well, Kelly Olynyk or Dwight Powell?
No, Kelly Olynyk. Kelly
Olynyk shot 5 for 9 from the field. He shot 3 for 4 from 2, and he shot 2 for 5 from 3.
75% from the field in this bum.
He shot 9 total shots and 5 of them were threes. He was the power forward. Dwight Powell was being guarded by Rudy, and Dwight Powell finished with 6 and 3. What are we doing?
He wasn't guarded by Rudy. Kelly Olynyk was being guarded by Rudy. Look at the video. Kelly Olynyk was being guarded by Rudy. Pull up the video right now. Pull up the video.
Kelly was the center.
Are we all arguing about
The whole game?
No. Pull up the video right now. Pull up the highlight right now. He was barbecuing that boy. Like I told you, man. Yo, stop blazing Rudy Gobert, man.
I've never glazed him. He's a bum.
Man, hey, you and me, we both like our donuts glazed. So stop lying, boy.
He's a bum. That was crazy. But he's
Damn, y'all arguing about how much of a bum Gobert is.
I've never said he wasn't a bum.
All right, so we got to keep it pushing. What I do want you guys to know is I'm gonna read some super chats, and right after these super chats, we're gonna get right into the title of this show. I'm gonna show you guys a clip of where this title derives from, and we're gonna get into it. Obviously, it says Dwyane Wade clears your favorite players. But your favorite players is more specific to 2 people, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. It's people up here that believe that Dwyane Wade at his peak are better than those 2. It's people up here that as a GM would draft him before they draft those 2. And we're going to see where everybody stands with D-Wade in comparison to Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. I can't wait to get into this, but we got super chats, and this is for you guys, so we got to do it for you guys.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Did you hear that? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Anyway, go ahead, Ron. Focus, Ron. Focus.
A Coma Mikey's burner said, check in on your loved ones. Make someone smile today. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. If you still watch wrestling, do you have a favorite Wyatt moment?
That's what I asked you yesterday, Dub. Because I don't really watch wrestling like that. I don't really know much about wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling a long time ago with the British Bulldogs and Jake the Snake. So I don't know who this guy is. But
yeah, that's my era.
Is he a big deal?
Like you, I haven't watched it since like when I was younger.
Right.
But you know, my little brother, him watching it, he was actually a pretty big deal when he was getting like middle school and elementary school. When I would go to WrestleMania for him, he used to, he was a big deal. So he was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to take the torch after Undertaker. So he was actually like a really big deal.
So he was that dude. All right, okay.
Yeah, so shout out to him, bro. Yeah, he was the next one, man. And it's sad to see people go early, bro. So prayers up to him and his family, man.
All right, moving along. It's Mr. GQ to you. Had an interesting super chat. He said, thank God Ron is just a co-host, and this is Ticket, aka Schizo Show, or else we would never get to any other topics.
I don't know what that means, but
me neither.
The crazy thing is, chill. The crazy thing, the group in which he started out with, one of the person from his group actually died unexpectedly as well.
Damn.
So it's kind of like a crazy coincidence that he also died unexpectedly. It's wild.
Hey, Ron, you see all this, y'all see all this slander I receive, but I know one thing. When these debates come around, there should be 1,000 people hitting me up. Ticket, where you at, man? It's like when I stay away, bro. It's like, man, you can't. I don't hear enough. Hey, man, where you at, though? Come on, man. As soon as I come back,
they love to hate you.
It ain't no appreciation, dog. It ain't no appreciation, dog. It's slander every single day. It's crazy.
Like Jack Nicholson said, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Absolutely.
Sage sent through a super chat. They said, rank these all-time players' offensive skill sets and their impact. MJ, Kobe, and Curry. Also, Mars. Arsenal better win this league this year.
We're not going to, and that's the correct order.
MJ, Kobe, Curry, in terms of skill sets and impact.
And impact.
If it was just skill set, Kobe would be 1, but
Michael Hines, somebody brought up my name. That's why I spoke, dog. So, yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in?
You don't think Curry? You don't think Curry's above Kobe for impact? I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I'm like debating that in my head. Like impact and skill set
and impact. No.
Yeah, skill set, impact. No.
Nah. I think impact, yes, but skill set, no.
The thing I think about with impact, I think we discount a lot about like people bring up all the time, you know, Curry's off-ball movement. Wouldn't that be a product of the offense that he's in? Right? Wouldn't that be a product of that's a product of the offense that he's in? It's not like Curry running around like a chicken with his head cut off and just running around, just getting the open spots. That's a part of the offense that he's in.
Because of his skill set. That wouldn't be part of the offense if he didn't have the ability to do that.
And you can see that when Clay was injured and it was just him and Draymond running around with a young pool and everybody else, he literally averaged like 30 points, over 30 points, doing just that. The show just being him. Now, it wasn't the most winning you've seen, but literally they were compromised. It was literally the most we've seen Steph had to carry the load while being Steph Curry, and he was still able to do it. At a high clip. That part I won't argue. That part I won't argue, but I will say that the fact that that offense changed enhanced his game, as opposed the fact that offense changed enhanced his game because if it didn't, if we're just giving the ball to Steph Curry and now he's just a one-on-one player like what James Harden is, I don't think we're seeing the same Steph Curry. I think we're seeing a completely different Steph Curry.
Yo, and I'm gonna move on from this topic quick because we about to talk about a lot of Steph. I'm assuming this show, so I'm gonna get on to the next super chat.
You don't think he's putting up crazy numbers?
Not like Harden.
Oh well, yeah, that's 36 a game, but the numbers will be crazy.
TBG said, "I like this RZA ticket Islam show Islam. Show him you can switch it up, Uncle."
I give all praise, thanks, glory, and honor to my Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. So I just want to put that out there.
In nome di Patria et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
You're Catholic?
I'm Irish, man. What do you expect?
I could look at him and see a Mick when I look at Pirate. That's a Mick every day.
I'm a Mick through and through.
You was at Ireland,
I'm looking right at him and I can tell Pirate is a Mick, 100%.
To share in ticket spirit of brotherhood and communion, I'll share a little tattoo with the PC community, Matthew 5:44. Love your enemies, bro.
You
always love your enemies.
They hate me so much and don't know nothing about me. I'm the one they want in the foxhole. When it's going down, Ticket the one who want rolling with you. See, they talk all that stuff about me now. In real life, when it's going down, you look around, I won't roll. I'm rolling with Ticket. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I get down. But these dudes don't know that. They just think, you know what I'm saying? It's just whatever.
Ticket, I think some of them
Ticket
know
the kind of sea rat that'll go down with the ship. And I like that.
Ticket, some of them know it, like DJ813. He said, I just want to give a shout out to Ticket. He brings energy to the show, and I love it.
Appreciate it, dog.
Ronnie said, people act like Jordan turned water into wine or fed people with fish and 2 loaves of bread. We can acknowledge excellence without exaggerating. Shout out Domo.
How do you know Jordan? How do you know Jordan wouldn't do that if he put his mind to it?
That's the stuff he's talking about.
Well, it's just you haven't seen anybody else do what Jordan did. So until I see somebody else take their team and go through 2 3-peats, the closest we seen was Kobe. Until I see somebody do that, until I see somebody go to the NBA Finals and never go to a Game 7, until you know what I'm saying? Until I see somebody hold a plethora of NBA superstars in their prime without winning championships. Until I see that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey man.
I saw someone win 8 straight, but I guess.
Ticket.
Actually, you didn't say it. You heard it.
Nah, I saw it, man. I was there.
Mart has a similar question for you, Ticket. Mart said, Ticket, do you think Jordan could have led the league in assists or blocks if he put his mind to it?
Remember, he averaged a triple-double for 10 games.
Not blocks.
Michael Jordan, if they told Mike, hey, Mike, you can't lead the league in assists, play the point guard. Mike was already averaging triple-double, and Doug Collins took him off the point because he didn't want to play Mike on the point. Mike could have led the league in assists if he wanted. Kobe could have led the league in assists if he wanted to. He just didn't want to. Those guys wanted to do what they were naturally born to do, which would be scoring assassins of the basketball. So yeah, they could. Listen, if LeBron James wanted to lead the league in scoring for many number of years, LeBron James easily could have told everybody get the hell out of the way. And when they got 35-40 every night, he didn't play like that.
So this what Doug Collins did. The Bulls actually had they went through a losing streak, and he moved Jay over to the lead guard and gave him the basketball and made him be more of a distributor. They started winning when he did that. Then he took him back off the ball and then gave him the ball again, where he's now more of a one-on-one player, which would explain why they did what they did.
That's facts. All the great players can do. All the truly greats can do that. Like LeBron, if he wanted to lead the league in scoring for like 2 or 3 or 4 years, he could have did that. I mean, all he could do is tell the guys clear out. I want to score. He was a guy who liked to do a little bit of everything, though. So I mean, if he wanted to lead the league in assists more, I mean, he got older and led the league in assists when LeBron got older. So I mean, if you tell Steph Curry, hey Steph, lead the league in assists, you don't think Steph could say, hey Dre, I'm gonna be on the ball and lead the league in assists? He could. When you got players that are at that level, these guys can change their game. When you're at that level, you can be able to change your game and adjust and do other things. Now, a guy like John Stockton, you can't tell him to go lead the league in scoring. He's not capable of doing that. But you have certain players that are capable of doing it, and Mike is one. LeBron is another one who's capable of doing it. Steph Curry is capable of doing different things. AD is capable. He showed you he's capable of doing it. He don't want to do it.
Hey, chill.
I think Kobe could have even led the league in assists if that was his goal.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Yo, Lo just messaged the group and he said the panel group that you guys can all join at the top of the chat. He said, tell Chill that Bird is still overrated.
Like I said, Lo, I'll see you soon, brother. I mean, Lo, this is the same Lo who said that Bird didn't play high-level basketball for many years, in contrast to guys in the top 10. So
this is the same Lo that disrespected John Stockton, Phil Town. It's the same Lo that disrespected John Stockton. Come on, man.
I'll see you soon, Lo. We'll talk about it soon. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Young Fear said, shout out to my boy Domo. I'm pushing my Lakers agenda today. AD for Defensive Player of the Year. Rui for Sixth Man. AR for Most Improved. And the King for MVP.
Wow.
That's funny.
Hell of a year.
Can't hear you, Domo.
I'm going AD for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. LeBron is just going to get him another ring in year 21 and just be great like that. Austin Reeves Most Improved, without a doubt. Rui Sixth Man. I see Rui getting too many starter minutes to be a 6-man.
Hold on, Domo. So that means you're going to come off your hate and praise Darvin Ham, because if that's the case, what you said, that means the Lakers will be one of the best teams in the world.
No, that's Darvin Ham.
That means the Lakers will be one of the best teams in the world. And Darvin Ham's going to be coach of the year. And Darvin Ham's going to be coach of the year, Domo.
You got to take that title off. You got to take that title off, Domo. You got to rip it off the door. You got to get take the title. You got to take that.
It depends. Wait. If I'm seeing Darvin Ham putting optimal lineups in, he's actually managing minutes the right way. He's not pulling guys while we're on runs to secure or win games. Fine, that's fine. But if Darvin Ham, hold on.
The coach could have did better with that same team last year.
If Darvin Ham goes out here and he's still putting 3-point guard lineups in, I'm still seeing. Well, it won't be Wyndon, but I'm over here asking why ain't Jackson Hayes playing, and we go out here and sign Kostas Antetokounmpo and he's playing backup 5 minutes. I'm gonna be looking around like he's still a terrorist, and I'm gonna say Rob Pelinka gets Executive of the Year.
Do you think any other coach could have took them further than the Western Conference Finals last year?
Yes.
You're on drugs.
Frank Vogel would have won another ring. Frank Vogel would have won another ring.
QB Brown would have won a ring.
Hold on, Ron. Domo. So another coach could have beat the Denver Nuggets last year with that same team.
Yes.
This man is funny.
Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Who, Domo?
Mars, you gonna let us say that? Mars, you gonna let us say that? It's when y'all talk about me, Mars.
What
do you want me to do?
The way that they were playing. Hold on, Domo.
Get him, Mars.
Hold on, Domo.
What's it got nothing to do with me?
The way that Denver Nuggets.
Tell me here's right.
I've been quiet the whole show.
Hold on a second.
I didn't say anything.
Fight, Mars.
I'm just asking a simple question to Domo. Domo, with the crew that Denver had and the way that they were playing, what adjustments could your Los Angeles Lakers team have made to make that series, 1, more competitive, 2, and then possibly winning it? What could have been done?
The same formula we used in 2020. We would have played bigger, as big as we possibly could have played, more consistently, and we would have made LeBron, we would have took LeBron off of I'm going to settle and shoot to I'm just going to facilitate and play make, and we would have had AD do more offense, and we probably would have had a guy like Austin Reeves have a more offensive impact. That's probably what we would have did. Or just simply just said, we're going to do the best we can on defense and let our defense be our offense the way we did in 2020. Yes, I understand Jokic is better than he was in 2020. It's not the same Jokic. I definitely understand that. But it would have been something different that could have worked. That's all I'm saying. It could have worked. I see it working. We literally lost 3 games straight where we genuinely were within single digits. My dad grew me when I was playing ball. My dad had a saying, and it always stuck with me. If you're constantly losing within single digit amount of points, I ain't gonna lie to you, that could be a coaching thing at this point. If you're getting that close to winning and it's just that off, that's a coaching situation. If you're losing by 20, 30 points, oh, that's talent. You just don't got the talent to compete with these guys. But if you're constantly losing within single digits, if you have these games and then lose these games, and you can point at certain adjustments that a coach made to why you're losing these games, you can easily say a different coach could do something different with this lineup. So, I think a different coach, Frank Vogel being the coach, because I never thought we should have lost Frank Vogel. Okay, cool. I think he could have did it. I do.
I'm just thinking about the rotation that you guys had. I'm thinking about the different defensive schemes that you guys had against Joker, where Anthony Davis would crowd him and he would blow by him, where Anthony Davis would back off of him, and that would just give him free reign to just operate with the basketball and get guys the ball or shoot the basketball. How Jamal Murray was playing off of Joker, how KCP was playing off of Joker. When you're talking about making adjustments and you're talking about making James more of a facilitator, I don't know if you know this, Domo, but I think he averaged 27 a game against Denver, something like that. I think he averaged like 27 a game against Denver in the bubble. So he wasn't that much of a facilitator than he was a scorer. So he still was scoring the basketball. Now we're talking about an older James that now you want him to be less of an offensive, less of a scorer, even more less of a scorer, because I think he averaged like 22 against Denver. And you want him to get off the basketball more and involve these guys more.
Who in 2020? Who was our third best offensive player? Who was our third leading scorer in 2020?
Kuzma. I think it was Kuzma. Okay,
and if me saying, hey, let LeBron take less of a scoring approach because he's just settling for jump shots for the most part, right, he's going to be a facilitator. I personally I'm comfortable with D'Lo, Reeves, and or Rui all replacing that production that we getting from there and trying to score more. If we're putting the focus on that, because Rui will have moments where he's scoring just fine. Austin Reeves will show up in big moments for us all the time. D'Lo's the only one where it was a question, and even then, it's like, all right, well, if we're gonna I'd rather have Dennis Schroeder because he's gonna play more defense than having D'Lo in the situation. But again, it's just adjustments. I'm just saying, I feel there are adjustments we could have made, things we could have done differently, and would have been better for us because we were so close. It wasn't like we were getting blown out when we got swept. They were all close games. So
right, they were.
And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Our word ain't law. My word's not law. I'm not trying to talk like I'm just the all-knowing basketball god. I'm just saying what I believe based off of the team I watch play basketball.
Right, and with that being said,
that was a shot at you, Lo. Go ahead, Chill.
I'm not a real Laker fan. I'm so sick of that. Y'all need to understand.
I'm talking about what you just said.
I've been saying this since 2017. Lo is not a real Laker fan.
No, I'm talking about what you said about the know-it-all. Yeah, Dub, you got what I said about the know-it-all. Lo knows. He knows it all. He can't never be wrong, except for when Ticket come on there on the open gym like I did yesterday and laid a smack down on his candy behind.
That's so dope.
All right, fellas, moving along. I got a couple more super chats. Potato Man said, Mars, what's the best Taylor Swift album? I'm going to go with Speak Now, the original version. Smack dab in the middle of her prime.
Mars, all her albums.
Not all of them, Mars. There's one that you like. If you listen to all her albums, there's one of her albums that you was like, this is golden right here.
You only get to listen to one Taylor Swift album for the rest of your life.
That's crazy. 1989, maybe. I don't know.
Romeo,
there's just so many. Like, they're all 10 out of 10s. I don't know what you want to do.
Ron, I literally. Just a couple days ago, because you guys were talking about, I literally listened to my first Taylor Swift song a couple nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful with your review.
I do not understand at all
what the hype is.
What is going on? She can't sing.
Whoa.
She can't sing.
My hands are here.
Let him speak it.
Someone had to be honest.
The only thing I can say is that she's pretty. She's not even like she can't sing like she's not a Nina Simone or Aretha Franklin. Like, she can't even sing like old pops. She can't even sing like a Madonna or a Cyndi Lauper.
Are we talking about Taylor Swift maybe possibly an overrated vocalist? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just to rate her is overrating. Just to call her a vocalist.
Right.
If
So
you call
she's
her a
not even
vocalist, she's
But
being
to
overrated.
be fair, a lot of them like mainstream artists aren't really like the best like vocalists, like the best like.
But
At least they can
that's what I'm
dance.
saying. Even compared to old pop
Can we
stars,
talk about basketball because Pirates music takes a track? So can we talk about basketball, please?
bro. I'm a music historian. I
Like
can
Cardi
take you all the
B,
way
like
from
Cardi B,
Scott
let's be real.
Johnson
Cardi
to
B
care
ain't-
about history. I'm not gonna lie.
She
no one
ain't
cares
like that,
I'm
but
not
she
trying
bro.
to-
If your basis is Taylor Swift, if
I'm
that's
not
our
trying to
starting
hear
point,
this. I'm
if
not
that's
gonna lie,
our
I'm not
starting
trying to
point,
hear this. I'm not trying to hear this.
Yo, can we
She
watch?
can't even dance. I ain't
oh
gonna lie.
my
watch,
god,
Can we watch
Can't
Cardi
sing.
B's? Can we watch Cardi B's music video?
Hell yeah.
You know which one I'm talking
Which
about? I'm
one?
talking about the one that was on the boat. Love that music video.
Okay.
Cardi B. I'm really out the loop when it comes to.
Oh, you are? Look, I got you.
I'm out the loop when it comes to
man.
to rappers
All right.
today.
Let me
'cause
send you something. I'm
like I said, I still listen, and there are some people that I still think are dope, but I'm not in the loop like I was when Jay-Z and DMX and Nas and Biggie was running around and guys like that. I wasn't in the loop like that.
Chill. Do you remember back in the 80s, the song came out and it said "Video killed the radio star," and
Yes,
I
sir.
believe that is what's happened. Video has killed the radio star. Like you guys are so into like watching music videos and watching asses bounce up and down that like the actual music has gone out the window.
Which is kind of ironic, Mars, because the title of that song, "Video Killed the Radio Star," they made a video about it.
Yeah.
Vamp said, "Chilltail, you would like Ice Spice."
Ice Spice.
Y'all are sick, man. Y'all are sick people.
Overrated. But that new song Deli, go crazy though. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, it does not.
What?
And stop. But first of all, stop supporting that music video. Stop supporting the music video. That's awful. Just stop. Y'all gotta, man. We gotta have some more pride in our music, bro.
Is Cardi B better than Megan Thee Stallion?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about involving myself in those types of discussions.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not that much out the loop.
Man, she's Dominican, man. That's how they be doing every day in the stores, bro. The Dominican chicks be doing that. They be dropping it like that every day. And people they be asking me your picture. Why you in DR?
Yeah, bro. Yo, you go to the club. You go.
They all looking like Ice Spice. And like I said, you do the rest. You do the math.
Hey, Ticket, I'm booking my flight soon.
Soon.
This was years ago, and I used to work for an airline. This was years ago, and I was single, and my brother, I had sent him down to the Dominican Republic, and he came back. He was like, "Yo, we need to take a trip to the Dominican Republic." And I told him, "Have you seen those Dominican women? We will never come back." And you married to a Spanish chick, so you know what time it is. You know we can't go
married
down.
to a Spanish chick, and
I was like, "Yo, we will never come back."
She let him go to DR.
Shout out Jamaica.
We will never come back.
Listen. I'm telling you, you be walking down the street, you see one, you talking to one, you just completely forget about her when you see one walk past and just start talking to the other junk.
No way.
Like he be so bad, but you see a junk that's bad, or like what? You look, you like, hey, hold on. You just forget your whole conversation and go to the next one. That's how it is. If Mars is out here, he'll become a man. Quick.
Word. PCDR trip. We gotta schedule it, man. We gotta schedule it. Gotta get Mars out there. Mars. Actually, out there, he can actually drink. Actually,
yeah, man.
The drinking age is 12 in Dominican Republic. That's crazy.
Actually, culturally, yes, but legally is 18.
Yeah, they be drinking with their parents out here.
Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, bro. As soon as you turn like 12, 13, bro, you feel me?
I need some structure. That's not my type of.
I gotta get back.
Nobody mentioned Karl Malone. Karl Malone.
No, they need some structure. That's what you need, Mars.
I need rules, man. Can't live this hoodlum lifestyle.
Keys with the super chat say, "Hey yo, a triple threat match on sports history between Pirate, Chill, and Fluent will be crazy."
That'd be fun. I'd like just a friendly conversation.
Who won the 1955 NBA championship, Pirate?
1955?
Oh, actually, know that. I think I
Would that be?
I know that one.
Is
it the Warriors or the Lakers? Was it the Warriors? Was it the Warriors? I mean, I know. It's the Warriors or the Lakers?
It was the Lakers, Mars?
No, Dub, you don't even know.
Oh, Pistons? Then Pistons.
The Syracuse Nationals.
Ah, fuck it.
The Lakers. I know the Warriors were the year after with Bob Pettit.
Yeah.
You in Florida. I heard what y'all was saying last
big
night.
L.
So they'd all failed the history test.
What were we discussing about, Ticket? I mean,
y'all was talking about teams and all this. I heard what y'all was talking about last night.
We were talking about what? Wait, what were we talking about?
Like the worst constructions of man. I heard what y'all was saying, man. Y'all, you and Fluent, bro. Y'all are nasty, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna pull up on that show again next week. Think I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to pull up last night, but I was running around here looking with something thick as Buffy the Body. Forgive me, Lord. But like I said, yeah. So yeah, I got you though. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all, keeping it pushing. Angie Carr brought this up on Chill Show last week. Y'all thoughts on D Rose being the last Eastern Conference guard to make All NBA first team? Crazy, right?
It's not.
That was in 2011. Yeah, that was in 2011.
It's not that crazy. Like, who else has? Like, maybe Kyrie in 17 could have made it, but that was Russ and James Harden. So no.
Yeah.
The
John Wall wasn't.
It's just
and in the East, if you think about the East, like John Wall during that time, John Wall, Darren Williams. I mean, who was in the Eastern Conference in terms of elite guards? I mean, Jeff Teague made the All-Star team, right?
Yeah,
so
I mean, these things, the pendulum swings.
Yeah, like the West just had better guards. It is what it is. Man.
Right, they did. The West was loaded.
My next question, though, for everybody up here is, who do you guys seeing being first team All NBA in the East if you're projecting? Just currently right now it's constructed. Is there anybody that you can be like, okay, next year or in 3 years, this guy can get it? Who's the next guy that you guys predict can do that?
At guard?
Yeah, at guard.
Trae Young, probably.
I might say Trae Young, Cade, and man, if everything goes right, bro, LaMelo leaves and stay in the East. LaMelo ball.
I don't see it as much with LaMelo, but Cade, yeah.
D Mitch.
I just don't, because Donovan Mitchell would have to do it in the next 2 seasons. I just don't see that happening.
Oh yeah.
I thought he should have been first team this year, to be honest with you.
I thought he would have made it, but they were giving it to guys who missed the playoffs, so clearly they don't care about that. So I don't think he's gonna make it.
Right.
Yeah, I thought D Mitch, I think in the next 2 seasons could do it. Trae Young can do it, and you said Kate. Well, I gotta see how he.
Trae didn't make first team in 21.
I mean, Trae has some
I don't think
flaws.
So.
Who was it? Stephen Luka?
No,
Luka's made it 4 times already. So yeah, Stephen Luka.
I think it was Steph actually, or Devin Booker. Devin Booker.
No, 21 was Steph because he was the third in MVP that year.
Devin Booker made it last year, right?
22 was Devin.
Okay,
Booker.
Okay.
And DeMar DeRozan was second. He was almost going to be first. I thought he was first team last year. So.
Damn, Chill. You put more.
I don't care about DeMar DeRozan. Let's be real.
All right, keeping it pushing. Quay White said, but if Mars or Dub said Jokic could imitate what Sabonis was doing, then it's disrespectful. Just say y'all don't respect the players today.
Shut up, Quay. How about that? Where's your father at? How about that? Where's your father?
Why
Damn. Are we talking to you? I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sick of these dudes saying this goofy ass. Just say you don't respect the players today. If we didn't respect the players today, then we wouldn't talk about these players today in the high regard that we do. Shut up talking to me. Where's your father?
Goddamn!
I will say, if we said someone who has never been an all-star in the NBA would be the best player in the 90s, we would be called haters. And I understand context. I understand there's context for why Arvydas was never an all-star.
No,
I'm just saying how it looks.
And the reason why I don't understand it, because I'm an advocate. We talk about the Hall of Fame and guys that are in the Hall of Fame who shouldn't be. I talk all the time about how I feel about Lenny Wilkins, a guy who never made the All-Pro team, is in the Hall of Fame. What are you doing in the Hall of Fame? Not one time was he on the All-Pro team. Not once. Why is Bill Bradley? And to my point, when we talk about these younger guys, I don't think that we invented the game. The game was played way before I was around. Not only was the game played way before I was around, it's going to be played long after I'm gone. So I changed with the times. If I didn't, I would still be around here like the guy that's around here today that's 75 years old, that's 80 years old, walking around here saying Bob Cousy's the best point guard that the NBA has ever seen. That's not me.
Hey, but chill. Let me ask you a question.
I'm not calling you a hater. I'm just saying.
I'm not you, Mark, but this dude to Quay White. I'm sick of him coming up with this goofy logic.
No. Chill. You think that? Hold on. Hold on. Y'all think that's wrong? Know what Chill said? What Chill just said? I disagree, Chill. Like, I think if you're a player that averages like 24, 25 per game for your season, for your career, and you don't make all NBA, maybe because you were playing in a league that was just full of great players in your time, does that not make you a Hall of Fame?
Yeah, because those dudes was better than you, and they ain't in the Hall of Fame.
No, I'm saying the league has so much great talent in it. Like if you have Magic, Michael, all these dudes taking up the guard spots, does that mean that you're still not one of the greats, even though it wasn't enough spots to put you where you? I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I agree. That just doesn't apply to Lenny Wilkens.
But that works.
Because Philtown said that, and I'm saying it's gonna be a dude that's not gonna make all NBA. That's gonna average like 23 or 24 points for a whole stretch. That was awesome. That Chill said he's gonna say, "Oh, you're not a Hall of Famer because you didn't make an All NBA team." When you playing against dudes like Curry, LeBron, you competing against dudes like KD who's still getting all these votes and all these other guys. It's hard for you to get those votes sometimes with guys like Luke and them guys in the league, especially if you're not on the greatest team.
For a decade, for 12 years. So if you play, I can appreciate.
Hold on, if you playing in the same era of these guys, and I can see it for like 8 years, like I can see that, bro. I can see that. I literally can see that.
Even if that's true, this is when the context comes in as the all-time great. So when you play in your era, and these guys are doing this, but you can't play up to that level, even though you are playing at a high level, you couldn't play up to the standard that these guys were playing up to. Lenny Wilkens is a prime example of that. So a guy who, he made the All-Star team 9 times, never made the All-Pro team 1 time. So he's playing in an era with Jerry West. He's playing in an era with Oscar Robertson, with Hal Greer, with these guys. He wasn't as good as them, so we shouldn't be talking about him like that.
I mean, I disagree. I think that some guys are on that level and they won't get the recognition because those guys are always getting voted. Like if Steph Curry, these dudes are getting voted, and they had, for example, if they're playing 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19, if they're playing 20-year careers, in 17 of those 20 years, they're getting all NBAs and they got the fan popularity.
Goofball.
That's hard for some other players to come up in that, bro. It's hard to beat that fandom sometimes, bro.
Hey, goofball. What's it called? Kobe's showing how you can sustain his level of play with and without Phil Jackson. So you're an idiot for saying that.
Yo,
hey, Ron. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. I just want to clarify because I think the gray hairs and my love of history. Some people tend to group me in with like old heads who hate modern players.
Moms think I'm older than Greg Papa.
I consider a lot of players playing today to be among the greatest players who have ever played. And I don't think Bob Cousy or Dolph Schayes, I don't think George Mikan are the greatest players. I mean, I just look at the game. The game has evolved in different eras are sometimes more conducive to other players. And it really shouldn't surprise young people that in today's era, there are going to be a lot of players who are conducive to the game today. I mean, that makes sense, but I mean, I consider a lot of modern players to be among the greatest. But I also consider a lot of guys who have been born before to be among the greatest as well. And some players transfer better. Like, I don't think Draymond Green would be that great in the 90s. I just don't think that he would really find a spot to do his thing, So
the right person. He's not that great today either.
It's true.
All right, so I'm gonna read one more super chat, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the main topic of the show. Kevin Finnerty said, "Answer me this, Ticket and Chill. Jokic is recognized as the best player in the world, and y'all saying Sabonis will match or be better. So with that logic, wouldn't Sabonis be better than Jordan? Just saying.
How did that happen?
What?
I don't know how that happens.
I think in his head it's like, oh, y'all say he could be the best in the world. So if he played in the 90s, he'll probably be the best in the world then. That's not what they're saying at all. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. It's crazy.
That's wild. That's a wild super chat. I'm not going.
I think he's talking about exactly what you said. Like if he played in the '90s and if he was healthy and he was able to improve, would he be better than Jordan? Once again, the original conversation was he would be, if he played today, being able to improve, he would be in the conversation with the best players in the world. He would be in that conversation. That's what we were talking about. How we got over to him playing in the 90s with Jordan, him being the best player in the game, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. I don't think it's you.
That sound? Oh yeah, I'm about to show y'all right now. Hey, we got somebody up here getting buckets. What's up, Domo? Yeah. What's up, Domo?
The offensive foul merchant.
Oh yeah.
I done told Domo. I ain't gonna say it again, Domo. You ain't gonna hit me with another one of them bowls. I know that. That's the last time you gonna hit me with a bowl. Okay.
Hey, y'all ain't know Domo had range. Check this out.
Called it beforehand too. I felt it felt good.
That's cash.
Hey, y'all hear the rim noise? Or y'all hear the next? Listen to the
draws. That is draws right there.
He's on fire.
Hey, we got to step up and put a hand up, yo.
Don't give me hand up. Don't give me. I'll tell everybody, man. I'm Zebo with a strap, bro. I'm Zebo with that shot, man.
Hey, put a hand up on Domo.
Damn, better than Zebo.
Who y'all think had a better shot? Domo or Bama?
Huh?
Oh, me 100%. Oh, me 100%.
Bama can shoot, to be fair.
I'm not gonna lie.
I can shoot, to be fair.
If Bama,
that's crazy. Crazy.
No, let me tell you right now. I will never lose the low in basketball. I will bust low ass in basketball. 100%.
That's not.
I mean,
100.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say you're playing to 11. Let's say you and Low play to 11, but
11-0.
Wait, Low starts 9-0 up. He starts at 9. Do you win the game?
Low doesn't score the basketball, and when I get it, I'm not giving it back. I am drop stepping on Low 11 times in a row.
Oh, offensive foul. Okay.
In the words of Mars.
Speaking of offensive foul, wow, that's wild. Speaking of offensive fouls, chat, y'all let me know if this is an offensive foul or not. Actually, before I play it, I'm gonna play it right now, but I'm running a poll. I'm asking, is this an offensive foul or not?
Nah.
Y'all can hear this?
Okay, Mello. Okay, Mello.
All right. It's good. Good.
He only did it on 3.
No,
Mello.
Mello.
That clear out bowl. Okay, I ain't gonna tell you. Okay, with them bowls. All right.
He only needed
that's
3.
All I'm saying.
Boom. Where was the foul?
Where
was it? That's a close game. That's a close move.
You're going out of your way to get it.
That's Jack Zuma. You had him on your back and you decided to hit him.
Yeah, you already had him on your back and you still go to.
No. Y'all think look, step back.
Domo.
That's a very forgiving rim. Okay, that's a very forgiving rim.
It's not. I mean, hey.
Barbecue chicken.
All right, there you go. Boom. There you go.
Hey, Domo, you won that game?
Yeah, we good. That's better.
We playing
Domo, you better than Bob.
Don't do Bob like that,
bro. He already called out Low, so I think it goes without saying.
Yeah. Hey, I might have to show up for Domo. Domo can make a layup.
Look at that.
Make a layup is wild.
Hey. Dude,
stop it. Come here.
Step back. Hey. Shoot a touch, baby.
This is my favorite one.
You gotta do the Hall of Fame after you hit that bucket like
and just walk away from it. I ain't even look at it go in. I just heard it.
All right, fellas. With no further ado, we're gonna go ahead and do this right now. We got one of my favorite start bench cuts and one of my favorite comparisons of 3 guys who we've, recently all seen win championships. We've all seen them put up MVP caliber seasons. We've all seen them dominate in the ways that they do. So I got Dwyane Wade, I got Steph Curry, and I also have KD
Kevin Durant.
But before this happens, I have to show you guys a clip of where this all originated from. You know, I'm going to the great TikTok.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Dub. This has to start with the TikTok.
Oh, is it from Dub?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dub, Pete Wade over.
Hey, Ron, while you're loading that up, I know we got plenty of time. I encourage chat, go check out some Detlef Schrempf.
No!
Check out some Detlef.
Hold on.
Could you guys hear that?
No, we did not.
Go
again from the top.
Go ahead.
Go from the top. Go from the top.
Everyone's gonna.
So you guys can't hear
Pete
this.
Wade.
No, we can't.
KD.
Right.
Pete Steph.
Yes.
What? No way, Dub.
That's my problem with y'all. Y'all just want to blaze and praise one side of the fucking ball. That's all y'all want to fucking do. Stephen Curry, offensively, he was great. Want to know a good reason why that the crew was about to make the playoffs as well? The defense was pretty good too, Mo. Y'all, you want to talk about Stephen Curry on his offense, right? But you don't want to have to talk about how you have to make up for the defense liability that he is.
Pete Wade over Pete KD.
One more time
Pete
through,
Steph?
just so y'all can hear.
Yes.
What? No way, Dub.
That's my problem with y'all. Y'all just want to blaze and praise one side of the fucking ball. That's all y'all want to fucking do. Stephen Curry, offensively, he was great. Want to know a good reason why that the crew was about to make the playoffs as well? The defense was pretty good too, Mo. Y'all, you want to talk about Stephen Curry on his offense, right? But you don't want to have to talk about how you have to make up for the defense liability that he is.
Pete Wade over Pete KD over Pete
Steph. This is where everything derived from, and this is where we are now. So, fellas, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go around the room in typical fashion, and you guys let me know what is your take on the video. Domo, I'm gonna start with you.
This isn't even a conversation.
The temperature went up in this room real quick.
This is not even a conversation. Pete Curry is better than anybody we're talking about right now, but it's not even a conversation. Like, I don't know. I get it. I get the love for Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade's great. But, like, let's stop. He's no Stephen Curry. Like, what are we talking about?
God, now you're just lying. But go ahead, continue.
I'm not lying. He's no Stephen Curry.
He's just a fucking
he's no Stephen Curry. That's not a lie. Just like Stephen Curry's no Dwyane Wade.
I want to hear.
Absolutely.
They're just glazing and praising one side of the ball. But go ahead. I want to hear.
So you want me to? Oh, you want me to? Okay. I got you. Let me put my suit and tie on. They're both amazing, tremendous guards who've done so much for the
That's
league.
not good enough. Nah, you already said what you had to say.
Exactly. Because what I really feel is, hey man, Dwyane Wade matches up neck to neck with a bunch of people. Pause. Goes neck to neck with a bunch of guys in the league. But when we talk about that man, Steph, the small guard relatively, that changed the NBA, changed how we play basketball, changed how a generation of boys play NBA 2K. I'm sorry. There's no comparison with Dwyane Wade. I've seen Stephen Curry change basketball on 3 levels: professionally, amateurly, and in video games. It's just it's undeniable about his greatness. Dwyane Wade was phenomenal. Dwyane Wade was great. Dwyane Wade was a tremendous player. Did he, or did he change how he looked playing the game?
He made palming acceptable.
He really did change it, actually.
Sure. Did he change it more than Steph?
I want to hear everyone's before you get cooked. I want to hear.
Oh yeah, please.
Pirate, I'm coming to you next. And with you being a Warriors fan, I'm pretty sure that you'll have some compelling takes.
Yeah, it's a shame it's gonna come off as slander because these are 3 of the greatest players ever. Also, is glazing a sexual reference, or is that like glazing a donut?
Pirate. That's exactly what it is. It's this goofy young 2K era kids today. Everything is glazing. If you recognize somebody and you giving them flowers, you're quote unquote glazing. So
glazing. Okay. I mean, I guess I'll just be quick. I kind of lean towards what Domo said there. I'm gonna have to. We're doing start bench cut, right? I'll go with Steph, KD, the great player. Dwyane Wade comes in.
About peak. As of right now, we're just talking about peak. So just to put more context behind it, if you can get one of these players for one season, who are you taking?
I'm still gonna go the same order: Steph, KD, the great Dwyane Wade coming in third.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I didn't do a start bench cut. Start Steph, bench Wade, and we're cutting KD. I don't even need to mention KD.
See?
KD's not even in this conversation.
Hypocrite.
Kevin Durant's not even in this conversation. I didn't even hear Kevin
But we'll
Durant. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But we'll continue. We'll continue. I want to hear everyone.
Okay. Chill.
Well, Dub and I have had this conversation where you know how I feel about the complete basketball player, how much I value the complete basketball player. But sometimes a guy offensively, there are exceptions. Like Magic was an exception. And in this particular situation, Steph Curry is an exception, considering what he did offensively, how much better he was than everybody else on that level. So as good as Dwyane Wade was both offensively and defensively, Steph Curry offensively, he 86 that in terms of a peak. He edges him out. And again, you know how I feel about the complete basketball player. But again, you have exceptions, and I feel like Magic was an exception, and I feel like Curry was an exception.
So who are you starting? Who are you benching? Who are you cutting?
Oh, I'm gonna start Curry. I'm gonna bench KD, and I'm gonna cut Wade.
Okay. And Pirate, that's the same order you went with?
Curry, KD, Wade.
All right. Mars.
Dub did not cook.
Did Dub cook, Mars? Yes or no?
Dub did not cook.
I was
He
cooking.
Dub
low
did
that
not cook.
episode.
I tried to
I was-
assist with the but Dub was
He was glazing.
working.
I was
Seriously glazing.
I was cooking. I was
Mars was
cooking
trying to-
low in that.
Mars was trying to turn the fire up on the pot.
See,
Yeah,
see,
I
now,
was
now we're
trying,
going.
but-
Now we're gonna sit here and lie. Now we're gonna sit here and lie. We was sitting here. Low was getting his ass fried, and now y'all all about to get fried up here, right? It's
we go.
showtime. You actually alluded to this, which is why.
Hold up, Dub. Hold up, Dub. Let's
Wait,
get
wait,
everybody else
wait,
start
wait,
bench cut.
we
Let's
still
get
got-
before you go
My
off.
bad.
Let's get everybody start bench cut. Mars, it's on you.
KD, Steph, Wade.
Oh, KD first. Okay, fair.
I love it. Actually,
Okay. And any context behind why for one season at their peak, why you would take these guys in that order?
KD was on the team with Steph for one season and was the better player on the team. So that would explain that. They're both better than Dwyane Wade. KD offensively better scorer, what he's able to do on the floor, be a better off-ball player, fits next to people who can't shoot and can shoot, played next to Russell Westbrook. Dwyane Wade's fit with LeBron was questionable because of the fact that they both couldn't shoot, whereas KD's ability to stretch the floor, play without the basketball, have that post game, being one of the best mid-range shooters of all time, shoot the three, just is able to fit in a vast variety of situations. Steph offensively, I think, just trumps what Dwyane Wade does on both sides of the ball because of how he just changes the geometry of the floor. So that's why I put him over Dwyane Wade. But like, they're all like top 20 peaks ever. So I'm not trying to I'm not saying D Wade is trash and he's way behind everyone. Like, I got to cut someone. So.
All right. Ticket. Last but not least.
Can I just ask Mars a quick question?
What's up? What's up?
Mars, in what way was Kevin Durant better than Stephen Curry what year are we talking? Are we talking about 2017?
Pick a year.
How is he better in 2017?
Pick a year. Wow.
How is he better in
I
2017?
just love glazing Curry. That's my fucking
Pick
issue
a
with
year.
y'all.
Oh my
When a
God.
man goes to say
Dub,
that
can I
KD's
just
better,
ask him a question?
now it's
Can I
like,
just
oh,
ask him a
why?
question?
Why this?
Can I
Why
ask him a
that?
question?
Why
Stay
this?
focused.
Why that?
Question.
Like, what are you talking
Can I ask him a
about, bro?
question?
This is the glazing
Can I
I be
ask him a
saying
question?
about Curry.
It's glazing because
It's
I'm trying to
glazing.
see how Kevin Durant
Because
was better than
y'all
Curry.
willing
Have
to
you
put
seen?
D Wade above
All right,
KD,
man.
but
You're
not
gonna
Curry.
save
What are y'all
Mars.
talking
You're gonna
about,
save
bro?
Mars so Mars
What
can
are you
answer my
talking
question.
about?
This
Okay,
is
Okay, first of all, it's not saving Mars. Don't do that like I can't answer the question. Dub just
I told
wants
you
to
2016, Mars.
Yeah, don't say save Mars like I'm in a
I'm
pickle
Mars.
here and Dub's trying to save me. Don't say
So
save
20,
Mars.
2016,
Don't do
Mars.
that.
How about 2016? How about that?
Don't
How
make
about we go
sense.
They
2016?
bro.
weren't on the same team that year. So I'll do 2017, then I can talk about 2016. 2017, I mean, we could go away from the fact that Steve Kerr said Kevin Durant was the best player on the team. We could go away from the fact that Andre Iguodala said Kevin Durant was the best player on the team. Just watching them play.
They didn't want to lose them.
Whenever they were in a bind and they needed someone to go get them out of that bind, Kevin Durant was that guy. They would try and clear the floor for Kevin Durant to get them out of that situation. Not to mention that was the best defense Kevin Durant ever played in his career. Borderline all defensive caliber that year, Steph Curry was average. So the defensive edge that Kevin Durant had, also in the playoffs, Kevin Durant had one of the most efficient postseasons we've ever seen. His passing improved, mainly because of the fact he had more space on the floor to operate, which I'll give credit to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. His passing also elevated. But the main thing I would allude to is the fact that in the postseason, Kevin Durant was the one they would go to anytime they needed something. Anytime a team goes on a run, Kevin Durant is the one that they're going to go to either neutralize that run or get them back into a game, because he was the best scorer on the floor. He was the one they trusted on offense. He was the one who was most easy to get his shot in isolation. He was the best shot creator at that time, something else Draymond Green has also alluded to. Steph Curry hadn't become that at that point. It's all of those things that would play into the fact that I think Kevin
real quick, Miles, to stay on that. Go ahead, Dom.
Let's go have Shaq numbers in the finals.
Hey, Phil, let me get my 3 because I got to roll. Let me just get my 3. I got to roll. Ron knows Friday. Look,
go ahead, Ticket. You got it.
Wade, start Wade, bench Steph, cut KD. And the reason why I'm cutting KD is because you guys got to remember KD was up 3-1 against Steph and lost. Got smoked, walked down, sent home. And then Steph Curry went and won the chip again without him. You know what I'm saying? That kind of did it for me right there. So all that him being the best player with Curry on the team, you can say that, but even when Curry wasn't on the team, he had a chance to be the best player on the court. He wasn't in Game 5, in Game 6, or Game 7. When Curry and Klay Thompson walked that ass down. Now, D-Wade, I have him over Steph Curry because D-Wade did what Steph Curry didn't do. He actually led his team to win the NBA championship. Steph Curry went to the NBA finals, but can we legitimately say that he was the outright leader of that team? No. I thought that team was an overall very good team all across the board, and the reason why they won it. We know D-Wade was the reason why the Miami Heat won that chip. And then not only that, when I look at D-Wade, I had to agree with my boy Doug. He plays both sides of the ball. That has to count for something. And we immensely degrade the defensive side of basketball. That is just horrible how we just absolutely – they had to hire Steph Curry in many situations because of how horrible he is as a defender. In fact, if Steph Curry was put in certain situations back in our day, he wouldn't be able to be on the court because of how bad he was before he was.
He'd be on the court.
I'm just keeping it real because I came from a land where coach said if you don't play no defense, you ain't getting on the court. So if you don't play D, you can't play basketball on the court. So like I said before, I just think the D-Wade, man, the intangibles too. I think Curry, like I said, Curry's second. I got Curry behind D-Wade on the start bench cut, but I can't put KD up there because KD that was just a cowardly thing to do. Just go join Steph Curry after he walked you down and beat you. You know what I'm saying? And then you haven't been successful since. So how can I have you over Curry? You haven't been successful since. So yeah, that's all I got on that.
All right, and but before y'all go in on Ticket, Ox just
Ticket has to go. We can't go in on Ticket. He has to go.
Go ahead.
Ticket, love him some team success.
I said what I said about Domo because I knew Ox was gonna pull back up. Go ahead.
Yo, Ox, you here? You tapped in? You present?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so have you been listening?
Nah, my phone was dead. That took me off.
Hey, well, you pulling up for a great segment, my friend. So the title of the show is Dwyane Wade Clears Your Favorite Players. But in specific, we're talking about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Dub had a take the other day in Open Gym. I don't know if you've seen a TikTok where he was basically saying that Wade is ahead of both of these guys. And he heavily highlighted, him being a two-way player, et cetera, et cetera. But we're doing a start bench cut right now, and it's predicated on peak. These players all at their peak. You get them for one season. Who are you taking? Dwyane Wade, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant?
Well, actually, I didn't see it on TikTok. I seen it live. I believe I was in the comments. I was standing with Doug. I'll take Pete D Wade over Pete Curry. I was 100% on Dub's side with that. I was in the comments typing him up, telling him just to stay calm because Lowe was trying to kill him for it. But I was with Dub on that 120,000%. In that start bench cut, I'm at their peaks. I think I start D Wade. Wow, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I think I gotta cut Steph. I think I gotta cut Steph. I'm sorry. I can't believe I think I gotta cut Steph. Yeah.
I mean,
We're talking about
someone has to get cut. I mean, it's the
right. Somebody got to get cut.
Right. Yes. It was.
Right.
Somebody
There are three
gotta
great
get
players. Three great
Somebody-
players.
somebody
Oh,
gotta
Jordan,
get cut.
LeBron, and Kobe. You have to cut one, like.
Right.
Yeah,
Somebody got to get cut.
Steph
right?
gotta go. Steph gotta go.
Somebody got to get cut. But I mean, damn, we talking about a dude who had one of the 5 best offensive seasons in NBA history that
In
season.
the regular season, yeah. In the regular
But
In
we
the
don't have
regular
to
season.
praise. We don't have to praise one side of the ball, man.
No, we don't.
This
And
was
that's the difference. The problem that I'm having, Dub, is that, again, I am a guy who cares about you being a complete basketball player. I care what you do on the defensive side of the basketball. But sometimes offensively, there's exceptions where you're just so good that you 86 that because you are just so good offensively. Magic has done that. He's an exception where
Let me tell you why Steph's not the exception, right? I'm gonna tell you, I'm breaking it down for you like this.
I'm all
and
in.
guys like this, that Domo right here to my left over here, just going to lie and praise and glaze this. It pisses me off. You alluded to this, Chilltown, earlier. You actually alluded to this, and this is a point that I bring up. People really underrate how Stephen Curry was in a situation that fully optimized his skill set, that fully optimized who he can be as a player, right? D Wade, especially in his peak, he was never in a scenario that fully optimized his skill set. So when I'm sitting here comparing the two, and again, even between all of those three, it's very, very close. It's not like, oh yeah, it's D Wade hands down, right? But when we have these conversations, I'm going to give D-Wade the edge because the offensive value that he provides for a crew, how he can be a good facilitator, he could be a good scorer for that crew. He gets to the line. He has a good mid-range shot. He's probably the best finisher out of all of those three as well. The offensive value, if KD's and Curry's at a 10, D-Wade can make himself to an 8. 8 or 9, right? And then the defense that he provides for a crew, especially compared to Curry, bro, it's not even close. It's not even close to what he can do. Curry benefited from the fact that he had Steve Kerr come in to allow him to be more off ball so that he can have that offensive value. And people equate that offensive value to solely who he is as a player and not give any credit to Clay, to Dre, to Kerr for helping him have that offensive value as well. Damo's saying Steph changed the league. No, the fuck he didn't. The Warriors changed the fucking league. Mike D'Antoni changed the league because without him being on that unit, none of this shit is happening. So cut it out. Stop rewarding one guy for all of this happening. It was all of them, bro. And that's my problem with y'all. Y'all want to give him all of the credit. Of the credit. And
nobody ever gets all the credit.
And y'all the same people that say, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to give all the credit to one guy for winning a chip." So why are you giving one guy credit for the offense being like that? It don't make no fucking sense.
I'm not giving him all the credit. I am saying he's the straw that stirs the drink.
For sure.
Steph Curry is the linchpin of the Warriors. Without Curry, there is no Warriors.
No, go ahead, Chilltown. I'm not. I was picking my mic up just because I heard some
I want
bullshit.
you to say something. I want you, Domo, because you
I still give most of the credit to Curry for changing the game. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit you're talking about in terms of, he needed Clay and Steve Kerr. And Steph, I'm a person that believes no matter where Steph Curry would have went, he still would have been just as great. He would have still been as good of a player anywhere. In terms of winning,
Domo. Minnesota would have wrecked him. Minnesota would have wrecked him if they would have drafted him. They would have.
Regardless, he would have went to Minnesota. They would have lost, but you would have been like, damn, that guard on Minnesota averaging 18 points is fucking amazing. Steph Curry's amazing looking on the losing team. Man, if you just got him some help, he probably was going to waste years just putting up empty stats. We would have had a different perception of him. He wouldn't have been seen as a guy that was just this winner, but it would have been just like James Harden. James Harden changed how people play basketball. Maybe even if you want to give it to him in a negative way, he still changed the game in some way because now you're focused on the rules and how to manipulate the rules as an offensive player. James Harden changed the game. He just ain't win. So it was perceived as a negative connotation while he played, but looking in hindsight, you can realize what he did and give him his flowers. That's what Curry would have been if he wasn't on the Warriors. Curry would not have been winning. Curry would not have won championships. He would have made a couple deep. He would have been Super Saiyan Damian Lillard. I would have been calling him a loser, but goddamn if he can't shoot that basketball, and now he got guys really willing to pull 30, 40 feet from the rim because he can hit these shots. He's not hitting these shots because he's on the Warriors. He's just winning because he's on the Warriors. Let's be very true about what's going on. Curry would have been a shoot. I'm telling you, in terms of changing the game, I'm not saying he changed the game because he won with the Warriors. It's how he played. I believe he still would have had that style of play no matter where he went.
That don't make sense. Wait, no.
It does make sense. What are you talking about?
You know what leads to people changing the game? When
No. We're here. No, stop.
Cut it out. No. You're cooked, and you don't want me to finish. I let you finish before. You're getting cooked right now. You better stop. You gotta stop.
Hold up, Dub. Let him finish, Dub. And I'm gonna let you get him, Dub.
Well, to be fair, Domo finished, and then Dub started talking, and then Domo cut him off.
Hey,
Thank
Mark.
you, Mars. I'm getting jumped. And now he wants to see her.
Y'all gonna let them jump me?
What
Y'all
we
gonna let them
doing?
jump me like this? This is wild, man. I'm just
Hey, Domo, when you done?
This is Mars turning up the fire again, trying to. That's all you trying to do. This is Mars trying to turn the fire up.
Dub, it's all you. It's all you, Dub.
Go ahead, bro.
No, bro, because you acting as if winning is not part of like changing the game. It's a copycat league. People copy who's winning the fucking league, who's winning the games. If Jokic starts going on a run and wins back-to-back, guess what? They're going to bring them motherfucking big dudes back because now we got to stop this fucking guy. That's what they're going to do. It's a copycat league. So winning is a part of changing the game. So you can't discount that. And when we're talking about Stephen Curry, we're not talking about, if he's on the Wolves or the Blazers, he's going to sit here and not win, and that's not going to make him better. No, but this offensive value that y'all talk about, Curry being on this level, he will not be able to replicate that on a unit like a Wolves, on a unit like the Blazers, on a unit like the Atlanta Hawks. He can't, because he needs a guy who's around him who could dribble the rock so he could sit here and play off ball and those off-ball actions that they do.
Create these narratives to argue. I love it. You're not arguing what I said. You're creating things to argue. You're creating things to argue against to seem right. You're not talking about what I said. You're not talking about what I said.
I don't have to talk about what you said.
You're not bringing up my point. You're making stuff up to argue so you seem right. I love it. It's cute.
Stop.
It's cute.
I addressed the bullshit that you said about impacting the game. And
no, you did not. What ways did I say he impacted the game?
What are we talking about?
What ways did I say he impacted the game? When did I ever say offensive value? When did the words offensive value come out of my mouth on this stream? Never. I never said, winning, he changed the game losing because of his offensive value. I never said that.
My God. You talked about winning and losing, and I'm saying the reason why Curry gets put on this fucking level is because of this offensive value that he provides. You're not listening. I didn't say you said that. I said that's what you're doing.
So argue my point.
So I'm saying
you tried to tell me about something I said,
already.
And then brought up nothing about what I said. I literally said verbatim, there are guys, and I used James Harden. I can use another guy. There's a guy named James Harden who changed the game of basketball, and it had nothing to do with him winning. It's about how he was playing. And I used that as my comparison on what I believe Steph Curry would be able to do and still change the game. You interrupted me and said, no. But
you
changed it.
Then I started talking.
Now I'm getting interrupted.
Now you change it. Come on.
No. Then you come out the wazoo. Oh, nah, I got you. You're cooked because is winning not a factor in why we're saying that people change the game? That's literally what you said. All I said was I acknowledge there are ways players change the game without winning that we can say. Dub, can we agree that James Harden has changed the game of basketball?
A little bit, but not to the level in which you're presenting.
Not to the level, but still.
The same way with Curry.
That's a yes.
He did. And it has nothing to do with winning. So we both can agree that there are ways to change the game of basketball. That has nothing to do with you winning games of basketball.
Majority of the time, and I'm telling you, majority of the time, especially with majority of the times, even with the Warriors, the reason why we've seen such a dramatic change is because those motherfuckers were winning on top of it. James Harden. So he had James Harden and Curry out here changing the league because you had Curry winning this shit and the Mike D'Antoni Rockets sitting here dominating shit and being crazy offensively.
But them guys were always bounced out the first round. Those guys were always consistently losing the team. But you still had one play. But no. I'm talking about James Harden. James Harden consistently let people down the playoffs.
They played in the same.
Wait, stop.
No. You just interrupted me, and I can't interrupt you. They sit here played in the exact same era.
James Harden was losing to the Warriors. Warriors.
Yes, they played in the same era. Harden's
Mars,
losing
this ain't
to
got
the
nothing to do with you, man.
fucking
Stay back.
Warriors.
Nothing. Mind your business, Mars.
Cut it out.
Mind
My
your
fault,
business,
my
We
fault,
Mars.
want to talk about.
I'm getting
if
jumped
we
by
want-
open gym. This is
If we
crazy.
want to talk
Yeah.
about if
Hey,
we
man,
want
I'm
to talk
defending
about
my
it,
open gym brother,
Harden
man.
did change it, but not to the level of Curry. Why is that? It's because Curry was the motherfucker winning this shit, man. That's what we're talking about. And then I was talking about the offensive value with Curry and shit. And I forgot where I was going because you keep disrupting me, sir. But what Chilltown
Keep
was
your
saying,
dribble, Dub. Keep your
I'm
dribble,
trying
Dub.
to.
Keep your dribble,
What Chill-
Dub. Don't let him
Chill-
disrupt you.
What Chilltown was saying and everything was 100% correct. He's not gonna have that value on the Wolves, on the Hawks, on the Portland Trailblazers, right? Because he needs that off-ball action, like any player. Like he needs it. It's nothing to be upset about or be mad about. He needs that to be on that level.
not.
He needs a Draymond.
He does
make up
not.
for the defensive liability in which he is.
Talk that
and
shit,
a
He does
ball
not.
handler, and a Klay Thompson right next
Oh,
to
but
him.
Pirate can
Come
jump
on,
in.
Talk
bro.
that shit, Pirate.
But
He does
Pirate can
not.
jump in.
He does not.
Yes, he does.
I'm
There's a reason why-
pretty
there's a-
damn sure I
there's a
watched
reason-
more Steph Curry than everybody up here, man. I saw Steph Curry with Jared Jack.
There's a reason why
Steph Curry does not
I watched,
need.
I watched him. I watched him in the Bay Area. And you know where else I watched him at? I watched him in college. And the reason why he thrived in college because number one, he played off the basketball, and that action that he played off the basketball with in college was constant movement. It was constant pin downs. It was back screens. It was dribble screens. It was all of that stuff, which now translated to the NBA with Steph Curry. That's why his game, if he would have ended up in Minnesota, they would have wrecked him because to just put the basketball in a guy like that, to just put the basketball in his hands and just tell him to just work. Now, I can appreciate Damo's logic that he's going off of, yo, this dude would have just been nice because he's nice at basketball. I can definitely appreciate that. Where I'm at is he wouldn't have been nearly as good if he hadn't played where he played because that offense was conducive to his game. You can play somewhere and be good and have a team completely screw you up. And I think Minnesota would have wrecked him.
Fellas, and keep in mind, this conversation is all solely based on at their peak, who would you take for a season? So you have to factor a lot of things in. Obviously, the team that it might be.
The intangibles too, because D-Wade
fuck the peak. Fuck the peak. I'm going back to. I got to respectfully
Hey, he's
disagree.
a leader. He taught LeBron how to be a winner, man. Fuck out of here. What are we talking
Steph Curry does not need to be off the ball. Once again, Steph Curry does not need to be off the ball. In Mark Jackson's system, he was well on his way to being a 22, 24 point 10 assist guy. He absolutely has the handles and the vision he could have been a much more traditional point guard. It's not going to look the exact same anywhere, no matter what team or different rosters. It's not going to look the exact same. He absolutely has the talent. He could have absolutely been a ball dominant point guard and averaged many more assists. He was well on his way. He could have easily averaged 10 or more assists while scoring 22, 24 points, while also being the greatest shooter that's ever existed, because that doesn't just disappear if you put him on another roster. He doesn't all of a sudden become not the greatest shooter that you've ever seen. I mean, playing off the ball, playing with Klay, playing in the Warriors, that is conducive to him being more of a 30-point a game scorer. But he absolutely has the skill set. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that he could have played a more traditional point guard role. They were going to the playoffs. They were winning series with Jared Jack, with Andres Biedrins. Yeah. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. To think that the Warriors made Steph Curry is you don't know where the Warriors were. I watched the Warriors play for 3 decades. I watched us roll Adonal Foyle out at center for a decade. This was a trash organization before he came.
Not saying that at all. Not saying that at all, Pirate. Not saying that the Warriors made Steph Curry. What I am saying is all of the points you brought up about how good Steph Curry is with the basketball, how good Steph Curry is as a shooter, the fact that he played into that offense enhanced that. If he's playing somewhere else where they don't run that kind of offense, which isn't conducive to his skill set, it's not going to work. We're not going to see the same Steph Curry. There's a reason why I agree.
We're not going to see the same.
There's a reason why he flourished the way he did with Steve Kerr than he did with Mark Jackson. He would not have been, even though he would have been, I still think he would have been a good player because Mark Jackson, being the traditional point guard, giving him the basketball and showing him how to create and facilitate for other guys. As opposed to in Minnesota, where they didn't have a clue what they were doing up there, they would have completely wrecked him. And now him being with Steve Kerr with that more wide open pieces of the triangle and pieces of what they were doing in San Antonio offense, which worked more his skill set in his game. And once again, I want to make sure I'm clear that this doesn't mean that they made Steph Curry. What I mean is that offense is more conducive to Steph Curry's skill set, which would explain why he was so much more, which would explain why he was so much better.
And that's the point, right? People sit here and use this as like, oh yeah, Stephen Curry did this on the Warriors and he's on this crazy level that saying peak D Wade is over him is just so ridiculous to say. No, like I said, I don't think it's bad to say that Curry's better than D Wade either. I think D Wade, I think Curry could have been what Pirate is talking about for sure. He has a great skill set, but when we're comparing these two, it's very thin line. Again, I want to repeat this is a very thin line. But when I sit here and put into context that Curry did have the benefit of all those things to benefit his game, while D Wade didn't in his peak, and he can have a great offensive value on top of the defensive value that he provides. I'm going with a guy like that throughout the season. He has better. We're going to talk about intangibles since old heads up here. Better leader, more clutch, more hard driven, in my opinion. He's just more of a dog. I mean, I'm rolling with a guy like that all day over Wade? Curry. D Wade.
No,
D Wade's better. I'm rolling with a guy
Curry.
like D Wade than Curry every single day. Like, what are we talking
Curry was a
about?
killer. Curry was a killer, though.
Curry was a killer, but D Wade was on a different level. He had it in the muscle. Shout out to Ticket, man.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and change gears, but stay on the same topic. And now I'm going to present these guys' careers. So, and I'm not necessarily saying look at their careers, who had the better career. No, I'm saying you're a GM. You get to draft these guys, knowing what you know, obviously, in hindsight. Who would you rather draft to build an organization around? Steph, Dwyane Wade, or KD? So we're going to start from the top. Domo, I'm going to go with you. You let me know. Steph, Curry, Wade. Or Steph,
Curry.
KD, Wade.
I'm rather build a roster around Curry.
And it's star bench cut.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, star bench cut again?
Yeah.
Curry, Wade, cut KD. Start Curry, bench Wade, cut KD.
Okay. Mars.
Start KD, bench Steph, cut Wade. And Wade is very far lost in this one, just based on injuries shortening his career. That's the whole reason. That's why KD has the best longevity of these guys. He's going into year 17, has been elite for 14 years, has missed 2 years due to injury, and then his rookie year, he wasn't elite. So take away those 3 years, he's been elite every other season. I also think he's the easiest to build around, being a wing, offering better size than Steph Curry, having a great off-ball game, being able to shoot, doesn't need to dominate the ball. You can fit guys who can't shoot around him. You can fit guys who can shoot. You can fit playmakers. You can fit other guys who aren't ball dominant because you can also handle the ball. With Steph Curry, you're going to need better defenders because he has to be hidden. KD doesn't need to be hidden. Kevin Durant can offer rim protection that Steph Curry can't. Steph Curry also doesn't play good perimeter defense. So I think it's just a lot easier to build around KD.
Hold on, Dub.
Alongside the longevity factor.
Dub, we gonna get to, just hold that thought, Dub. We're gonna get to it. I'm gonna get around to everybody.
It's a question.
Pirate.
Once again, 3 of the greatest players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Same order as before. Steph, KD, Wade. My logic, Steph is such an anomaly at point guard. Getting that production at point guard, I believe, is more valuable than getting it at shooting guard or small forward. It's a little bit more easy to replicate high volume scoring at a small forward than getting that extremely efficient scoring from the point guard position.
So wait, if Curry was a shooting guard, then your opinion would change?
I mean, if my grandmother were my grandfather, like, what would his name be? I don't know.
Grandma,
what you're saying, like, if Curry was 6'7", like, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying if Curry was listed as a shooting guard.
If Curry were putting up the same numbers at small forward, I would devalue it a bit. Yes.
Yeah, that's odd to me. Well, I know how
No,
you
it's the same thing.
it's just
It
odds.
worked the same way for Magic. People, a lot of people don't realize quite how efficient Magic was at point guard. So when you're getting that extreme efficiency at point guard, it really elevates. I mean, it's no coincidence the Warriors were able to win 140 games in 2 years. We're running Harrison Barnes out at small forward. When you're getting that kind of efficiency on high volume scoring from point guard, that is rare in the history of the NBA. It's very rare.
There's only like 4 guys, I'd say. Steph, Magic, not Oscar. Steph, Magic, Stockton, and Nash, who are like really.
But then even Stockton and Nash, you're talking more like, 15, 17,
lower
18
volume,
range.
but those are like the only like uber efficient point guards.
Exactly. So then when you combine that uber efficiency with 25 plus a game, that is a real game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. Can you talk to us about your start bench cut?
Everything that Mars said about KD, that's how I feel about Steph Curry. And he had proven it the year that they won the NBA championship in 22 when I was watching him cover against Luka, and they were doing everything that they possibly could with Andrew Wiggins to get Steph Curry onto Luka. But Steph Curry was still defending in that series. They were trying to hide him and they were hunting Steph Curry, but he still was defending in that series. But when I think about Steph Curry offensively, because I don't think Steph Curry was egregious defensively. Like the guys who went off on him, guys like Kyrie Irving, we're talking about, I've heard guys up here talk about him being, the most skilled basketball player ever and one of the best finishers at the rim. These are the guys that we're talking about who are quote unquote cooking Curry, right? So Curry, I feel like he was at minimum. I think he was average defensively. I don't think he was agreed. I don't think he was that bad. I do think that he could have been better, but I think as an offensive player, building around him, getting the right point guard, right? Getting the right small forward, getting the right big man. I think it's less difficult to build around him than it would be to build around Dwyane Wade, who, and to your point, Mars, about longevity, because a lot of people don't really accept the fact that longevity matters. I've never been in an era where doing something great for a long time didn't matter. And that always, I never understood why all of a sudden that doesn't matter. So for a guy in Kevin Durant and a guy for Steph Curry to play for a long time and not break down, and I do think that matters. So I'm going to start Steph Curry, I'm going to bench KD, and I'm going to cut Dwyane Wade.
Okay. Yo, Ox, you still tapped in? Bobby,
yeah, I'm right.
All right,
yep.
Cool. You heard the question and you heard everything we've been talking about?
Yeah. I was I'm mimic exactly what Mars said. I'm starting KD as far as building the franchises. I think KD is one of the easiest players to build around of our generation. Obviously, you got Bron, guys like that, but I think you can fit KD in with pretty much anybody. I don't need a super dope point guard with him. I don't need a super dope center with KD. With Steph, I need a lot more, and I need I think it might have been Martin said that too. The defense. I got to start thinking about my defense. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start KD, but I'll probably bench Steph because you got to value that shooting ability. You can't buy that anywhere. So I think I'll start KD, bench Steph, and then cut D-Wade.
Okay. Hey, so I would be crazy to say that I might start D-Wade.
If you're building a franchise, yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah. Then the reason being
insane. You're insane.
I'm gonna tell you, and you could say
the argument would have to be you think in 5 years you could do a lot more with Dwyane Wade than 15 years of KD, which I think is crazy.
It's similar to that, but it's because right away I know D-Wade can lead my championship.
5 years, we could do more than 15 years with KD. There's no way you believe it.
I know right away, but no, it's more than 5 years though. I'm gonna get 10 solid years from D-Wade, but my thing is
you'll get about 8.
I think, Ron, if you got to start a franchise and
let's say you do get 10, Mars. That ain't as many as 15.
If you got those 3 on the board and you actually pick D-Wade over those 2, I think you get fired.
But this is my thing. I'm saying right away. I know I'm in championship contention right away based on what we've seen Dwyane Wade do in year 2.
Well,
he had Shaq.
Right away they got him Shaq in the second season.
Oh, okay, but in their early years, Steph Curry and KD all had awesome teams too.
But are you drafting there? Are we
But
drafting
Oklahoma
Not
City
right away,
Thunder
not right away, not
08-09
right
was
away,
not an awesome
not
team.
right away. But hold on, yo, Domo, don't do that. In year 3, or it was in year 3 or 4, KD was in the championship.
Year 5.
It was actually year 5.
That was year 5?
07, 08,
2012.
08, 09,
2012.
9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12. Year 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
year
but
5.
okay, and
He
before that,
got Shaq, who's a top 10
before that, they were
player in year
contending
2.
too. But also, here's
They were
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
conference
Okay,
finals in 11, and they
so
lost
wait.
the
In year 2, it was year 2, right? That
Yeah,
D-Wade
that
went
D-Wade
to
got given a top 10 player in the league. Yes.
okay, and then year 3 after that, when Shaq kind of took a step back, D-Wade did what he did.
in the finals.
In went nuclear. I'm saying in year 3, I'm not getting out of either of them two. Matter of fact, year 2 D-Wade production, I'm not getting out of those two either. So I'm saying that right away, when I get Dwyane Wade, right away, I know that he's gonna go.
Bro,
crazy.
that's when Shaq came.
Shaq was still a top 15
but
player
D-Wade
in
was
the
still
world.
going crazy.
He was.
But look at D-Wade before Shaq and after Shaq. He was getting bounced
Why are
out
we
the
going
first
top
round
15?
as soon as Shaq
I would
diminished.
argue
D-Wade
in
was getting
06,
bounced out the
Shaq was
first
still a
round.
top 10 player. But
Yeah.
just so we can avoid argument, I'll say top 15.
Well,
KD and Steph
in,
didn't have that in the first 2-3
right.
seasons.
Going into 04-05 season, can you name 5 players better than Shaq? Going into the 04-05 season.
1,000%.
And this is who Dwyane Wade gets in year 2.
I bought courtside tickets that season to watch the Warriors play Shaq. And Shaq was a beast, man. I was watching him warm up. God damn, this guy's like a 300-pound
in
cat.
05, you can very easily argue Shaq was the best player in the Heat.
And that's
absolutely.
06, sure, you can say as Dwyane Wade, but Shaq himself was still top 15.
I get that. I get that.
Steph had Monte Ellis, like.
Okay, I get that, and that's in the first 5 years, right?
We had Jared Jack.
He had Shaq.
Respect
Hold on,
Jared
relax,
Jack.
because
That's
I'm saying
Jared Jack wasn't bad.
I like Jared Jack. I'm not gonna lie.
No, do not say that.
In the first few years, D-Wade has awesome teams. He goes to the championship. He does what he does, wins a ring, gets a finals MVP. He goes crazy. But after that, once you hit year 5 for Steph and KD, from then on, they had awesome teams. And we never really got a chance to see them or have to just lead a crew through and actually.
Yes, we did. Steph won. He won the first round of his second year, dude. Steph has played like 30 playoff series. He has never shot below 40% in any playoff series. He's legitimately only had 1 or 2 series in his entire career that you could even come close to saying were bad.
Pirate, I get that. But I'm saying after once Steph team became legit, yes, he was winning, he was doing what he was doing. But I'm saying like they were dope. Like he had a good ass team. So it's like Steph was leading, but he wasn't carrying the way D-Wade was carrying. He had an awesome crew behind him.
Dwyane Wade is the only one you can argue that for half their career they were the second best player on their team.
He is.
Okay, and he played with
and Ron again. I'll go back to like he went
teams, and Dwyane Wade played with peak LeBron.
No, he did.
Dwyane Wade went.
I get that.
So
Dwyane Wade went from first round exits.
Part of his career, I'm talking about coming out
he played with Shaq.
Right away.
He played with Shaq.
He was better than Shaq during that stint. He was better than Shaq during those stints.
No,
but Ron, what I'm saying, Dwyane Wade went from first round exits to finals MVP to first round exit.
Dwyane Wade is a rookie. It goes Dwyane Wade has a rookie season.
First season.
Rookie. Cool. Then he gets top 5, top 10 player in the NBA. Shaq for 2 seasons, they win 3 seasons, they win a championship. The 3rd season, they deal with injuries. It's not a very good season. Shaq disappears for the next 3 years. Dwyane Wade is losing in round 1. Doing nothing.
Put it in the context. Put it into context.
Bad team.
Dwyane Wade during those years of poverty where he was deprived, he had the worst team that any of these guys have ever seen. Steph has never seen a team that bad. KD has never seen a team that bad.
Time out.
Our second best player was David Lee.
Was it in his prime?
Don't say never.
He's all right.
Was it in his prime? During the year that Dwyane Wade led the league in scoring in 2009, the Miami Heat were not a good team.
No, it's true. Yes.
So the year Steph Curry led the league in scoring in 2021, the Warriors had another top 10 caliber player, or had he had a solid team built around him, what do you guys think would have happened? We got
his numbers go
in
down.
Steph Curry's earlier years.
Yes.
Okay.
The numbers you're praising him for putting up,
and his winning goes up. And the winning goes up. That's the point I'm trying to make.
The numbers. Because his numbers will go down.
I'm not necessarily praising the numbers. I just said he led the league in scoring. I'm not praising the numbers. I just said he led the league in scoring. I'm saying he would have been more successful. I'm saying that to say what he was capable of that year, Mars. I'm saying how good he was
capable of. When you put an elite player next to another,
he was very, very good.
It doesn't matter if his numbers go down, Mars. I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about
Russell Westbrook. His team becomes good. You give Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, his team becomes good. Oh my God, a revelation. We know this. Dwyane Wade had Shaq, his team was great. He loses Shaq, his team is trash. He gets LeBron, his team is great. The same thing
so the 5-year gap.
He comes in, his team is trash. Russell Westbrook develops, his team is great. Steph Curry comes in, his team is trash. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green develop, his team is great. Dwyane Wade went through everything everyone else went through. He had a trash.
No, he did not. No, he did not. No, he did not. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And when Dwyane Wade was at his absolute best, he didn't have nobody. That's what I'm saying. We will be talking about Dwyane Wade.
But he was also at his absolute best because he didn't have nobody.
Yeah, what made him at his best in those years, bro?
What do you mean? What made him at his best? He was in his athletic peak. He was in his athletic peak. That's what it was, Mars.
No, he was 1,000% more athletic in his first 3 seasons than he was in year 5, 6, and 7. So that's not true. So 08 to 2010. It's not true.
It's not true because you say it. What do you? He was in his athletic peak. He was at 20, his 26, 27, 28.
Sure, 05 to 07.
So why?
For sure. For sure.
All right, Mars. So why are his numbers better?
Because you just
why does he look better? Why are his numbers better? Why does he look better? Why is all of that the case?
Because, as you alluded to 2 minutes ago, when no one is on your team, your numbers go up.
So he got worse.
Like
so he got worse. Is what you're saying, Mars?
Because when you have 30, it looks like
are you saying he got worse?
26.
Are you saying he got worse?
No, I'm saying he was at similar.
So what are we talking about?
So my point is, Dwyane Wade went through the same things as everyone, where he had a trash team for a few years and had great teams the rest of the time. Just like Kevin Durant had a trash team.
So what's the point I'm making? No, because you did this the other day. You said you're not listening. So what point did I make, Mars? What's the point I'm making?
Your point was, and correct me if I'm wrong, your point was you would take Dwyane Wade over these guys because early on in his career, he showed you he could get a great start and win off the jump. That was the first point you made. You then said you get about 8 to 10 years from Dwyane Wade, which I disagreed from. So you said he gets the great start, plus you get an extra 7 or 8 years after that to also build around him compared to other guys who had more longevity, but you still get 10 years from Dwyane Wade. Then you spoke about how Dwyane Wade, the reason he wasn't more successful in the years post-Shaq was because he had no one around him, and that you are saying if you put good teammates around him again in those years, he still would have won, but he could have won, which is another 3 years of bad team, but you can put a good team around them, which gave him more opportunities to win. Those were the points you were making. I listened to you. I understood your point. So don't
that's
do
not
that.
The point I'm making. Wrong.
Okay,
that's not
ahead.
The point I'm
go
making.
Go ahead.
I did make a couple of those points, but that's not the point I'm making.
Go ahead.
The point that I'm simply making is when KD and Steph Curry had inadequate teams, it was in their early years when they weren't in their peaks. When Dwyane Wade was in his peak, he was robbed of having adequate talent around him. Now, I'm saying if we put another all-star on his team, if we put a couple better role players on that team, what does D-Wade do during those years? We see a couple more conference finals. We might even see another championship, maybe 2 before Bron even gets there. We had 5 years. We had some. What?
I said this. This is what I said.
No, Mars.
That you put a team around you, there was more years to compete.
No, you didn't. No, Mars. The point I'm making is Dwyane Wade at his best didn't have a team. So those guys at their best, Steph Curry and KD during their absolute prime had the best teams.
I would say the first 2 years with the Heat, he was still pretty much
exactly what you just said.
In that prime.
So if you gave Dwyane Wade a team in those years that he could have competed, and then you said your point was that if you gave Dwyane Wade a team at that point, he could have competed. That's what I said. You said
Mars. No, the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making.
Okay.
The point that I'm making.
Go ahead, Ron.
Go ahead, Chill.
So, Mars, the question that I wanted to ask you is: in those years, is it fair to say that a guy, and I think you made this point, but I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Is it fair is it fair that a guy losing guys and then in his peak not having these guys is different than a guy coming up slowly and then in his peak having great players?
I do think it's different, but then I would point to Steph Curry in 2021,
right?
Having his team, and I could just say the same thing, that if you gave Steph Curry a team in that year, he could have won. And I think everyone would agree with that. I could also say 2019, when his team gets hurt in the postseason, that's another year where he could have won. I can then point to KD having to deal with Russell Westbrook getting hurt in 2013. 2014, Russell Westbrook's missing half the season. I can also point to those years and say, well, if KD's team is healthy, he also could have won. I can then say 2021 in the postseason, when the Brooklyn Nets get hurt, that's another year where KD could have won. So the argument would still equate to another 3 years for everyone, not just Dwayne Wade. That was the point I was trying.
Dwayne Wade had a whole stint when he was going through poverty at his best.
Which is fair, Mark. Which is fair.
08, 09, and 2010. That's the years.
Which is fair, Mark, because
very next year, so that can't count. Then I would say
Golden State won the NBA
or 2015 KD.
Golden State won the NBA championship the very next year, which is fair. But I'd like to think that a guy who in year, I don't know, let's say, what was it, like 13? I think that guy's a little bit different than coming up with a guy in year 2 building a team around him, and he's not that good. We're talking about two completely different players. I don't think we're talking about the same guy. I think we're talking about two completely different players. So with a guy like Dwayne Wade, who comes in year 2, and he has Shaq, who's a top 5 player at that point, and then loses him 2 years later, and I don't have anything equivalent to that for the next 3 years of my career, what would my game have looked like had I had 2004, 2005 Shaq? If I would have had that dude for the next 7 years, what would I have looked like?
Where was this rationale when it came to George Gervin, man?
If the argument is that Steph Curry's first few years,
y'all putting Tony Parker above George Gervin's ridiculous.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying they've all gone through at least 3 years in their prime, where if they had better situations, they could have won. All of them. Right. Dwayne Wade just happened to be all 3 years in a row with 08, 09, and 2010. Steph Curry's happened to be 2021, 2019. You could argue 2014, if the team was better, they could have won. 2013, if the team was better, they could have won. 2016, if the team's healthy, they could have won. There's a bunch of years where everyone goes through that. KD has 2013, KD has 2014, KD has 2021. Like there's years also where he could have won in his prime.
Are their prime?
But I'd also, would that be
Steph's prime would be 24
years?
Steph's prime years would be 2014 to now.
I think
and then KD's prime
you
years would be 2011. Yes.
Is Steph still in his prime?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah,
I wouldn't say his peak, but I'd say his prime. I'd say KD's prime started 2011 to like.
The issue that I'm having with your logic, Mars, and most of it works, but the issue that I'm having is that I think we're talking about different. I think we're talking about different players at different points of their prime. So like a 35-year-old Steph is not the same player as 27-year-old Steph, even though it's still in his prime. So when you're talking about a guy like Steph Curry in 2021 who was leading the league in scoring, I mean that guy is completely different than 2016 Steph Curry, where he might be able to do even more than what he was already doing, even if he was on a bad team, because we're talking about two different players. We're talking about a younger player, we're talking about a more athletic player, but then we got a guy in Dwayne Wade, who I got this guy early, but then these years, I don't have any of this. And now I'm relegated to just doing me during this time. I mean, you brought up the point about them being in the playoffs. I mean, they lost to Atlanta in the first round. I think it was in 2008. They lost to Atlanta in the first round. He averaged almost 30 a game that series. So imagine if he's got a top 5 player or a top 10 player on the crew during that time. How much better is he going to be? And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that he averaging more points, because his point production can go down and he could do other stuff. Same logic when he played the next year when they played against the Boston Celtics, when he lit it the Paul Pierce ass, averaging 33 a game. If I got a top 10 player, if I got a top 10 player on my team, how much better would he have been in that series or in those playoffs overall as a player?
And I agree. And then I would say that's subsidized by the fact that he went through the 3 years of torture, and then guess what? Here comes maybe the greatest player to ever exist. Have him for 4 years. He went. By the way, if you told Dwayne Wade,
it's a pretty good trade-off.
Dwayne Wade, you have to go through 3 years where your team isn't great, but we're going to give you maybe the best player to ever exist for 4 years. You can be the second best player to him and win some championships.
And MVP Bosch. I think MVP Bosch running, ducking the grind in Toronto.
That would be because we're talking about building around these guys. None of them got given maybe the best player to ever exist.
Yeah.
Like Dwayne Wade
They
got
got
given
each other,
that,
though.
and that's where 2 of his championships.
They
Ron.
got each other,
That's not
though.
even building around Dwayne Wade at that point. You just gave him someone clearly better than him. Like,
Ron,
that's what
can I say this before I go?
Yeah, for sure.
First to start bench cut, especially like careers and all time, is KD, Steph, and Wade. Right, peak is a better argument, but all time, D Wade just don't have the longevity like those guys. I just can't deny that. And then Mars, I have a question for you. So with you starting KD and everything, I'm curious on your list is KD, because I remember you always debated me about this and everyone about this a year ago and when you first started out. So is KD now above Curry for you?
Let me let you into a little secret. A little birdie messaged me on TikTok. Said he needs ESPN Mars to start pushing some KD propaganda. I told him.
Wow.
Yes, and then all of a sudden, before I even knew it, Ron messaged the panel group chat saying today's show was about KD. I was like, this is perfect time.
Perfect.
So I came in today ready
Curry's.
to push the meanest KD propaganda of all time. Shout out to the guy in the comments of TikTok who messaged me. This was all for him. Everyone. So when the clips go viral, he knows that this is because of him. Chilltown said he could tell when I'm trolling. I just trolled for an hour straight and he didn't know. So that's the thing. I can
that's that British humor.
Easily.
You gotta watch more BBC. You gotta watch more BBC to catch on to this
I
shit.
still believe Steph Curry's better than Kevin Durant.
Damo, this your fault.
I still think Steph Curry's always been better than Kevin
That's
Durant.
right, Damo.
Mars is back. Mars is back. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't even argue with him because I'm like, I know he doesn't believe this. There's no in the form of that argument.
That was fishy as hell. Fishy as hell.
Right. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm not doing this with you.
As soon as he said I want to say something, I'm like, bro. I said, I know this is not fucking Mars talking because I know
shout out to his name is The Real 13 on TikTok. He tagged me in a comment. He said, "Can we start trolling for KD? Since people dislike, it will be cool to see people up in arms with you defending him." I replied, I'll add it to the list. He said he's always tuned in. Great work regardless. Keep it going. So shout out to The Real 13. This whole segment was for you. I pushed as much KD propaganda as possible. I cooked Ron. I cooked Domo. I cooked everyone. KD's the GOAT. Clears Curry and Dwyane Wade. There you go.
I don't know if it was trolling. It really sounded like it was legit.
I told you.
That's what makes it a good troll.
Obvious, you can tell. But if I want to disguise it,
that's why I had to go in my bag. That's why I had to go in my bag with you, Mars, because I didn't think I thought we was. Turns out we was play fighting. I'm thinking Mars really swinging at me, so I had to go in my bag.
Man, you
I had
lost.
to put my gloves on for real.
You lost when you was trying to Mars was it? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But all right, yo, y'all be easy, man. I gotta do something.
Hey, let it
easy,
dub.
All right, dub.
All right, we're gonna get into these super chats and then go ahead and get up out of here. If you send super chats through, appreciate you. If you haven't liked the video yet, please go do that. Continue to comment and subscribe. We got Alan R from the top. He said Lil Wayne is the GOAT of rap. Let's talk.
I will tell you this, Damo. I will tell you this about Lil Wayne. There was a time between 2005 and 2007 where it wasn't nothing on the radio but Lil Wayne.
Either singles or features. He was on
every. There wasn't nothing on the radio. If there was one song without Lil Wayne, the next song had Lil Wayne in it. And if there was another song that wasn't on and they ain't have Lil Wayne, the very next song had Lil Wayne on it. It was a 2-year stretch where you couldn't hear nothing else that didn't have Lil. You didn't hear nothing that did not have Lil Wayne on it.
If Kanye wasn't so amazing, he would be my GOAT. But
he
that's
was
my
everywhere.
Styles Black said, "Respect to Pirate. Man's b-ball knowledge is elite."
I agree.
Facts.
Word.
Shout out Styles. It's a smart man there. It's a smart man.
Devon Williams said, "Is Tatum a top 5 clutch player in the NBA?"
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't have a list of just clutch players. I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like
my head. I just know
he doesn't. He doesn't give me top 5 vibes. I'll just say that he doesn't give me top 5.
You gotta be a number 1 to be top 5.
And he is the number 1. But a top 5 clutch player. I mean, I don't just equate scoring as being clutch. There's so many things that go into being clutch, and I'm not sure that he does all of those things also. So I'm not going to.
He does have the record for points in the game 7.
Yes, he does. He did score 51 in the game 7. Yes, he did.
I tend to shy away from the clutch thing just because it is a make or miss league. and like clutch moments tend to be a real small sample size. And if it goes in, you're clutch. If it doesn't go in, so.
Plus, Byron, I don't look at clutch as you just making shots. There's so many things that go into being clutch. Like, you know, Scottie
I
Pippen.
feel like the first minute of the game is as clutch as the last minute of the game.
I feel like being clutch, going to the free throw line, coming up with a big steal, coming up with a big rebound, coming up with a big stop. All of these things matter in terms of being clutch. All of these things.
A big off-ball screen that opens it up for someone.
Kevon Looney, most clutch player in the league.
Yeah.
Taking charges. That stuff matters.
Drink More Water said, "Who's the Euro coach, Pirate? Or who's the Euro coach? I don't know how to pronounce."
Well, I was gonna say David Blatt's Israeli, ain't he?
Is that classified as Euro?
No, Israel. No, that's.
I mean,
some would say it's not even a country, but I ain't trying to get political.
Oh yeah, let's not get into.
They got EuroLeague teams,
Palestine, and
it might not be Europe, but they got EuroLeague teams.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I would just go Mike D'Antoni, right? I mean, I think as far as a European coach, D'Antoni.
It's a super chat though. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's called
Zeljko
Obradovic. Are you familiar?
And can we? I mean, not intimately, no. Can we start out? It's Franz Wagner.
It's not Wagner.
It's not Wagner.
With a
Franz Wagner.
Wagner.
Shout out Wagner, great composer.
Eli the Misfit said Bojan Bogdanovic over Rudy Fernandez.
Bro, everybody over Rudy Fernandez. It's a joke. Bobby Sura way over Rudy Fernandez.
Taquay White said Deacon Dub and Deacon Ticket is the GOAT duo on PC.
PC theology coming soon.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Tay Luke 777 says Sabonis was destroying Admiral. Era tax this era C.
That was before he was in the league, right?
Yeah, and I don't think we were really like emphasizing.
That summer was the year he got drafted.
7'2". He's a very, very, very large man. Like,
I thought he was 7'4" because I seen him next to Shaq and he dwarfed Shaq.
Yeah, he's a very large guy.
Very huge.
Pause. I don't know.
Nike McGill said Chilltown. How good was Sarunas Marcelunas?
That once again, think Manu Ginobili, Sepp a better athlete. He was Manu Ginobili before Manu Ginobili. Great finisher.
So you think he's better than Manu Ginobili?
I don't think he was better.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was better. But what I do think is he was Manu Ginobili before Manu Ginobili. I think that his ability to finish at the rim is comparable. Manu Ginobili's ability to finish at the rim was comparable to Sarunas Marciulionis. He could knock down open shots. He was great for that system that they ran in Golden State with Run TMC. He was perfect for what they were doing up there. One of the best rotation guys, tough as nails, could defend with the best of them. Sarunas Marciulionis, if he played in today's game, he would be, if he wasn't an all-star, he would be a borderline all-star, and he'd be one of the best rotation players in the game if he played today.
Yeah, hey Mars. So he was a Warrior, so I'm a little bit more familiar with him than some other guys. No, but I'm saying Mars. Like I think he's a guy that you will really like if you go like look into him. He legitimately was like a big, strong Manu. Imagine Manu crossed with Jeff Petrie.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Taquay White said, considering Anton Carr is 6'9", I don't think I'd name him as a big that Arvydas was going against. Also, Robert Horry, ? Sad, laughing my ass off.
Yeah, the Antoine Carr was not a good name.
Shout out to Antoine Carr, man.
Jalen Carter said Canada's defense best in the tourney.
Is it?
Reggie Reg got a start bench cut for us. He said Brian
Troll
Reeves,
alert. Troll
Kevin
alert.
Willis,
Troll
Rudy
alert.
Gobert.
Troll alert. Troll alert.
No, I mean I'll play.
I'm starting Rudy, benching Kevin Willis and Big Country. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing the exact same thing. Kevin Willis played like 50 years.
He was on a championship team in 2003 that with San Antonio. Just so you know, Mars, he was on the same draft class with Jordan and Charles Barkley.
Clapping along Speedy Claxton. He's like, let's go, Speedy.
Yes, he was doing
Let's go, Speedy.
Yes, he was doing it.
Akoma Mikey's Burner said facts. If Undertaker is Jordan, Bray Wyatt is Kobe.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't know he was that big a deal.
Sage said MJ ain't averaging more assists than Draymond.
Just so you know, MJ, how many? What's Draymond's in terms of his assists? I mean, Jordan averaged 8 assists with
The most Draymond averaged, I think, was 9.
Okay, so Jordan averaged 8 assists
For a season,
2021, I think he was 9.
Right. So Jordan averaged 8 assists with Sam Vincent and Charles Oakley as his second and third best player. He averaged 8 dimes with those two dudes, and a second year Scottie Pippen and a second year Horace Grant. So if you could imagine him playing that role and those guys improving, how many more? Jordan could have been a double-figure assist guy. I think he could have gotten it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
His points would obviously go down, but yes,
Right.
Absolutely.
Or you could just have the ball the whole game.
Right.
That's true too.
3-Man Weave said to the OGs, if we are so much worse today, how do y'all enjoy watching ball now? Players that aren't top 5 in their day would be the GOAT today.
We're not worse today. And I just think there are great players. I've said many times before, if there were 30 teams in the league in the 60s, it wouldn't be as good as it is today. There are more players coming from different countries. They're great players. But that also, like, athleticism did not begin with Kobe. I want all the young people go look at some Greek statues from 3,000 years ago.
Evolution takes millions of years.
There have been great athletes on Earth for a very, very long time.
In basketball, evolution's a bit quicker.
But that's not evolution. That's husbandry.
And on top of that, the question that he was asking to the OGs. Okay, first of all, I'm one of these people that thinks that there's players in the game today that can be all-time greats. I'm a big fan of players today. So stop lumping me in with these dudes that think that Bob Cousy is the best point guard that the NBA has ever seen, because I don't think like that. I don't.
From an accolade standpoint, he has a case.
And I ain't fighting that. But I can't say, Mars, that 60 years has passed and I'm still around and I ain't never seen nobody better than this dude. Are you saying 60? In the 60 years you've been watching basketball, you ain't never seen nobody better than this dude or close to that? You still adamant that this dude is the best you ever seen in 60 years?
I was there. When I was younger, I thought, oh man, there's never been anything like Barry Sanders. There's never been anything like Ricky Henderson. There's never been like these guys that I'm watching that I love. And then as I got older, I started to realize, you know what? Man, Willie Mays was a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
Bill Russell was
human beings actually have existed for a long time.
Bill Russell was on the Olympic team. So, and that was 60 years ago.
Sounds like a goat to me.
Sage with a super chat says, does Bron even have a case for top 10 this season?
He has a case.
He does.
Josh said, OG, young boy, the new Tupac. Check it out.
I don't know about that.
Alan R said, Lil Uzi Vert clears your favorite artist, by the way.
Respect Taylor Swift.
Doesn't clear Towns Van Zandt. Nope.
No, he does not.
It's Mr. GQ to you said, the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast said that Sexy Red is more authentic than Tupac and was pushing her single on the pod for 3 months straight. Shaking my head.
I don't know who that is.
Never heard of her.
So Let's Keep It a Buck wasn't doing a good enough job of pushing her single because I ain't heard of her. So.
I don't know what she is.
I heard that Tupac disrespect. I was disgusted.
Hey,
I watched that show. I tap into that show.
Hey, Ox, which one is Sexy Red? Is that my something is brown and my other thing is...
Oh, I've heard this.
Poetry. That sounds like true poetry.
That's the skinny chick with the red. I think she got half her hair red.
Garbage.
Let me Google her.
Yeah,
I'm straight.
You know. I mean, you know what time it is, right?
All right, man, let's keep it pushing. I'm not going to entertain that too much. Nathan P said, the fact that y'all forgot to name Mikal Bridges in these conversations is wild.
What conversations?
What conversation would Mikal Bridges have fit into that?
It's when we were talking about something about guards, but Mikal's a forward. I can't remember exactly what the conversation was.
Oh, Eastern guards to
Yeah. Eastern Conference people to be all NBA.
he's a forward.
All NBA guard. All NBA
he's
guards.
He's a wing, so he doesn't make it.
Yeah,
Do you guys
he's
think
he's not a guard.
I don't think he'll ever
make
make first team unless like everyone just doesn't play games because he doesn't.
Right.
I think McHale
could see that happening.
He give me Eddie Jones vibes. I think him.
Eddie Jones.
The swingman, Eddie.
Zan Axe said, "Love how Dub always brings up systems for Curry and Nash, but never once brought up his favorite player, Kobe, played in the triangle. LOL."
No, and where was all this talk when we're talking George Gervin and y'all are putting Parker above Gervin, man?
Can you handle the Pirate?
No, I'm never gonna.
I agree with Pirate. That's a terrible.
I'm never gonna forgive that take. Never, ever.
Manu Ginobili would be over both of them, but.
Okay. Marcelonis be above mine.
Reggie Red says, "Start bench cut, big country, Kevin Willis, Rudy Gobert." We did it, Reggie, but
we did
that one
for staying on top of us and making sure we came through with it. Chase Richards said, "There's a reason Wade begins with a dub. Hashtag Dub Nation."
Damn, he cooked.
Can't argue that.
No Cat Prince said, "Am I tripping or did Mars say Steph was always better than KD, even when KD joined the Warriors?" He called it out.
Did you say that, Mars?
Yep.
He caught your troll early.
Yeah, that's why you held that super chat on the screen for too long, but luckily no one read it when you brought it up. I wanted to hide it, but you paid good money.
We exposed you.
Zan Axe said, you got a slide?
Yeah, keep going. I got one more.
Zan Axe said, "Nash also sustained his production without Mike D'Antoni. So where is the Nash respect?"
Well, nobody's disrespecting Nash. I don't think Nash gets disrespected. Nash was on his way. I mean, again, Mike D'Antoni, that system enhanced Nash what he was doing. Nash was an all-pro before he got with Mike D'Antoni, though. So it's not like D'Antoni made Steve Nash. No, he was already on the all-pro team. He was already an all-star. He was already doing that sort of stuff. It just got enhanced when he got with Mike D'Antoni. So it's not ridiculous that he was doing those sort of things because he was already elite before he got with him.
Yeah. One of the greatest point guards.
People's favorite players from MVPs. That's why people hate Nash.
And he's Canadian.
Yeah, it's more, if he never robbed Kobe and Shaq from MVPs, people would have hated him.
Why do we keep saying that he robbed Kobe? Just so you guys know,
Dirk. He robbed Dirk.
That's what I was about to say. Kobe Bryant came in fourth that year in league MVP votes. Steve Nash was 1, James was 2, Dirk was 3, then Bryant. So it wasn't like Kobe Bryant came in second in league MVP votes because he came in fourth that year. So he's got to get past Dirk and Garnett, and he's got to get past James before he gets to Steve Nash.
I think I should have won in 07, but
that's what that is. Hey, Ron, I got to bounce, brother. Yo, I see you dudes on Monday. Ox, I'll see you tomorrow.
Good talk, Chill.
Hey, for those who don't know, Team USA plays tomorrow. Check that out if you get an opportunity. We're definitely going to talk about this on Monday. They play tomorrow against New Zealand. It is pretty early. It's going to be at 8:40 Eastern time. It's going to be on ESPN2 though, so Mars, you'll be able to watch it.
There's a WNBA game being aired in the UK Saturday.
Oh, Mars, I'd love to hear your opinion.
I think it's Mystics versus Aces or something. I think I might have misread it.
Aces.
I think
Aces are basically. KD.
They're the team of A. Wilson, right?
Yeah. They're basically the KD Warriors.
Yeah, I seen on Twitter that they've set like a WNBA record for wins in a season or something.
Yeah, they've stacked their team like crazy. Actually, they're supposed to have Candace Parker. She's injured right now. Obviously, she's a WNBA legend, but they still got a good ass team. The Mystics, they got a solid team.
I'm gonna watch that game and I'm gonna have an opinion.
Yeah,
I gotta hear that opinion.
But back onto these super chats. Christ said players this era have a better and more diverse skill set, but players that played 30 years ago can come in and be the best or lead the NBA in scoring.
Because every era has outliers. Outliers from 20, 30 years ago theoretically could come in today and still be in the elite group. The regular players from 30 years ago, sure, they're not going to stand out. But you get a Michael Jordan or a Kareem or a Magic or a Birds. They're so much above the level of competition that you put them in today's game, they're probably still going to stand out. That's the thinking. that I agree with.
Strictly AB or Strictly Ab said, who y'all think peak Wade is?
I think he's great.
Yeah,
Top
great.
20 peak I've ever seen.
Chase Richards said, put his head on the spike, Dub. Poor Domo. MVP Production said, as a music producer by profession, I can't wait for PC Music.
Produce some music for Jalen Carter. Collab.
Corey Taylor said, Dub said AI changed the game before, and he ain't win.
There's levels to changing the game, though. I do think AI is one of the most influential players where it comes a lot more from off the court. But he did change like the rules of carrying.
He made carrying acceptable.
Strictly Ab said, Dub, did Steph go crazy on your bitch or something? Yo, y'all be wildin'. Bola Boy 23 said, if Magic and Bird didn't get drafted to their teams, would they be as great as they are? Pirate?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think it's purely hypotheticals, I believe, require extremely strict parameters to have any logical discussion. So that's probably too deep for a quick super chat. But they'd be great players. Yes.
Quick answer: Birds, yes. Magic, I don't know.
Wow.
Chase Richard said, KD will leave your franchise after five when he loses.
He won't lose if I build the right team around him.
God Trail 92 said there was a point where Bosh was better than Wade.
Maybe
MVP.
Maybe like 2016.
Alan R said that's the real music, man. Shout out Sexy Red. The Pat Sack said Jared Jack is Pirates Cristiano Felicio.
Damn, you think he's that bad?
I just don't want to have a long conversation with Dub about how great Jared Jack was.
I like Jared Jack. He was on the G League Ignite team with Jalen Green.
I like everyone who's ever played in the NBA, but no Jared Jack. No.
All right, last but certainly not least, Drink More Water came through with a super chat as a cherry on top to the show. He said, we always talk about which players will be better or worse in different eras. What about coaches? Which coach/system would thrive in this era and not so much in others? Would the triangle work today?
Obvious answer, Don Nelson. Don Nelson had freaking Manu Bowl out there shooting 3-pointers. Don Nelson was a brilliant. Don Nelson was a brilliant offensive mind. Also, I'm thinking Hubie Brown. I think probably do some damage.
Alex Hannum.
There you have it. All right, y'all. I got members. I'm gonna go ahead and shout them out, and then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. No open gym today, huh, Mars?
Tomorrow.
Dang, I don't know what you guys are gonna do after this, but we're gonna shout out the members, and we'll catch you guys soon. Jafir Smalls, appreciate you for joining the show. Shaney 2 times, Sage, Ratchet City Royalty, Chrissy Neef, Nelly, DJ813 became a member. Gas Pack Manziel became a member. Shout out Gas Pack. 10K2XX became a member. Jalen Carter, some dude named Jalen Carter became a member. Shout out some dude named Jalen Carter. Western 742, Keanu Richards, and Lil Zay all became members today. Shout out to everybody that became a member. If you haven't become a member yet, you have an opportunity to do it right now. Just click that button, become a member. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you haven't liked the video on the way out. We will catch you guys Monday. You know where the panel will be. Tomorrow, open gym. Tomorrow, chill with chill. Tomorrow, we got anime. Tomorrow's a jam-packed day for PC. We also got a new show called PC Tunes. If you like cartoons, tune in. Until then, we'll catch y'all soon.